goodness. Whoop whoop. Let's get into it. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. The tabs, guys. I mean, I was looking at a guy that made Ben Shapiro look like he was 6'2". I kid you not. I was looking at something wild. I was like, what is this? How is this happening right now? Anyway, you guys know the deal. Buymeacoffee.com, Coach Colin, / Coach Colin. It's a way to support the channel. I will put the link in the description if you want to use coffees or super chats, however you want to do it. You could even just use a like. That is also acceptable. To me, it is 100%. So we're going to get into some stuff today. Candace Owens, she did comment on the whole Victor thing. Candace is she's very nice in the sense of like she's kind. I should say she's kind to people, because I wanted her to really go off on Victor. I really wanted to hear what she thought of Victor, because I know it's not much. So I was really hoping for that type of thing. But she didn't go that hard on the whole Victor thing. She was very kind to him, called out that she didn't believe much of what he had to say, which most of us did not. The coffee link is now pinned. Most of us did not, but I was hoping she'd lay into him a little more. But she's gonna be running for president in 2028 or 2032, so we can't expect her to get all wild. You know what I mean? She has to keep up appearances, because she's gonna be running for president one day. Oh gosh, guys, I said it. Keep that in mind. Mark it on your calendar, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to talk about the Candace episode, of course. We're going to go through all that, because I think there's some things, I don't know, I'll see how you guys feel about it, but I feel like, how come we didn't see more people repost this or talk about this? There's a couple of things, what she uncovered about Erika, potentially, allegedly, the FOIA request. We'll get into the Joe Rogan apology thing that she put out there. Then we'll get into Turning Point. There's something being cooked up in regards to Turning Point that is pretty wild. There's a documentary that's going to be dropping. I should check that out. I don't even know. I don't even know what time it is. I was gonna say what time. There's a documentary coming out that is going to be allegedly exposing fraud that's going on within Turning Point, but not like what we've heard about before, like money moving around. Maybe there's some of that, but from my understanding, people are talking about chapters not being 100% real. Students not really being in the chapters. The fact that they have thousands of chapters, apparently some of it's kind of fugazi. That's what I'm hearing. I'm waiting to see the actual doc, but I mean, we'll talk about it. And it's coming from somebody who, I wouldn't say despises Turning Point, but that was the first word that came to mind. The lady from the Un-F America tour. She apparently has been going from chapter to chapter, and she's dug up some real stuff, and I'll show you the trailer to the documentary. And if we don't get to cover it today, I'm hoping it comes out while we're live. If we don't get to cover it today, we're definitely going to be talking about it on Friday. And then we're going to get into Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson finally talks about how he feels about what has happened to Thomas Massie. And of course, Tucker does not hold back at all. And then we're going to go to our good old friend, Officer Tatum. I don't know if we're going to cover the Ben Shapiro actually looking like a tall person first, or we're going to go to Officer Tatum. They're both very, very fun stories. So we'll see which one we fall on. No, not Hunter Kozak, a different person. I don't even know if Hunter's associated with the Un-F America tour anymore. I actually did, a bunch of us did videos on Hunter Kozak months and months and months ago, and he was on the Un-F America tour's website. I remember doing a video, and then the next day he was gone from the website. So I don't even know if he's associated with it anymore, quite honestly. It was around the time Jesse on Fire actually offered him $20,000 to take a lie detector test. Yes, you heard that right. Jesse offered him $20,000. Someone said Tatum, please. Yeah, I think we'll go. Like I have a couple of the timestamps for the Tatum thing. I think we'll go Tatum first. Just so you guys know, just in case you're concerned, Corby Hall says still no contact from the authorities. Rather, just Victor asking for my location. Well, how about that? Wow. Okay. Well, that's terrifying. Let's get into more of this. Let's jump right into what Candace is talking about. We'll start at the fact that she doesn't believe Victor Marx on what he said in regards to when he announced Charlie is dead. Okay, we're going to start there. And then there's some other things with Victor, but we'll go through it thing by thing. Let's start here. Let's go, Candace.
Those people for information. And the obvious, sensible message to send initially is Charlie okay? What's going on? What's happening? OMG. I just saw the news. Is he okay? Now, if for some reason you opted not to do that, Victor, and you simply twiddled your thumbs for 50 minutes and then ventured to guess that he was dead and decided to post a selfie video, then that is extraordinary. That is, to me, extraordinarily suspicious. Okay. Here's what a normal text message exchange should look like between somebody who had no idea that their friend was going to be shot on September 10th and had access to people who could provide immediate updates as to what their friend's condition was. Okay. Here is a text exchange between me and Andrew Colvett on that day. Please say he's okay. I wrote, I don't know. Pray. Shot for sure, Andrew writes back. I said, we just prayed before I texted. Any details on where he was shot? I am freaking out. He says, in the neck head area. I said, I saw the footage. I cannot deal with this. Do you see the problem here, Victor? You're saying that you didn't do that. You didn't do that. You didn't text for an update. You had no idea what was going on. You just were sitting around. Your wife didn't text you. Just sitting around and you Terrell Farnsworthed it, right? You decided for an hour to do nothing until it was time to record yourself. You texted nobody that you had access to, and then you randomly hopped onto Instagram in selfie mode to declare to the world that Charlie was dead prematurely, absent.
Huh. It was very weird that he said, didn't reach out to anybody. He knows Frank Turek. People are also, someone actually suggested yesterday, perhaps the friend's son who was there that saw everything happen could have been Mikey McCoy because he knows Rob McCoy. He is a friend to Rob McCoy, is in touch with all the security and just decided to just sit back, say nothing, and then just said that he's dead just based on his own knowledge. That's a very weird thing to say because the thing is, I know I'm just preaching to the choir here, but you would say, okay, I think he's gone from what I've seen, Also, somebody pointed out to me, there's no combat in his, we'll get to that, but there's no combat in his 2 years and 11 months or 3 years or whatever he wants to say. There's actually no combat. But he kind of puts on this little bit of, apparently, allegedly, puts on this front like there is a lot of combat experience within him, but there's actually not. So we'll get into that after, but you think you would contact the security and be like, hey guys, is he gone? Because from what I just saw, that was crazy. Please tell me he's all right. Like the same thing Candace did. Please tell me he's all right. But somehow he knew. Not only that, I mean, whatever, we'll get into it. But he told Erika, hey, don't worry, no one's coming after you. Like, you go to jail. You go to jail. You don't pass go. You don't pass go. You don't pass go to Haiti, to Jimmy Barbecue with a bunch of firearms. You go straight to jail. That's how it should go, I would think.
Any intel. I don't believe that for 1 second. That story has about as much credibility with me as a 3-year-old beheading a cat and wearing it on his head.
Just a 3-year-old wearing a cat, wearing it on his head, yeah. Oh, I'm dumb. I'm a dumb. Oh gosh, get back to the story. What am I doing?
I actually would rank the 3-year-old beheading the cat and wearing it on his head as more likely. That registers to me as less fiction than the story that you are telling, that you're telling me that I'm supposed to believe transpired on that day. So then I'm forced to ask myself, Victor, why would you say it?
Why would he say it? let's move on to the next clip that I have of Candace talking about this whole thing. But at least she's telling us she doesn't believe it or anything. I wish she had said that to him. But I mean, you can't do that. She actually is very fair in her interviews because she could have just unloaded on Victor easily, but she chose not to. She was actually very, very nice. Very, very nice to Victor. She could have, like, that one little jab of like, no, I actually am being sarcastic. That was like about it. That was the hardest hit she gave him. Other than that, she was like really nice. Really, really nice to him. So anyway, let's keep going here. Here's the next clip addressing the same things.
The good news is that I actually don't have to guess because I'm currently being sued by Brian Harpole, head of Charlie's security team. And since you mentioned that you were in communication with the security team, so much so that you were able to relieve them of their duty, that's what you said elsewhere in the interview. You took over the security apparatus. That's why you were with Erika and were able to hug her, and Eileen were able to provide such relief to the team. They were tired. They were traumatized. I imagine that took some communication. Your communications with the security team during those critical hours might be relevant to my lawsuit. Maybe Brian or Dan communicated to you that they felt that they didn't do all that they could do. Maybe that's why they were traumatized. I don't know. I really don't know, Victor, but I'm going to need to find out because I'm being sued for defamation, which is why we sent earlier today Victor Marx a legal preservation letter. And I hope that we can get to the bottom of what actually transpired on that day. And I think Victor might be able to help. Right? Because he did, in fact, say this. And then you were among the first to post, obviously you and your wife, actually, maybe it was actually just you in the first 2 days that went to Erika and Charlie's place to provide her some comfort. So you were quite close to Erika.
We brought our team immediately to help give relief for the first security team who I knew when I was in contact with. And they were suffering trauma and exhaustion. They didn't have a secondary. So yeah, we went there. Of course, my bride was with me. Her and Erika are very, very close. And we were just standing by to bring comfort or help. The number one need they had, and we felt like it, and we were asked to, is to provide security, to give relief. So that's what we did.
I didn't realize this. Is this a thing that happened to you guys too, where it got silent at this part? Because I feel like that didn't happen when I was watching it live. Did this also happen to you guys? Because I noticed that this morning, but I was listening to it on like 2.5 speed. So I was like, oh, maybe I'm just listening to it too fast. But now I'm normal and it's happening again. It's very interesting. Yeah, it happened to you guys as well. Interesting. Okay. I wonder why that happened. What is
an admission regarding what he texted Erika while she was at the hospital raised even more eyebrows online because here's what he said.
And then I contacted Erika through a text and told her. I just told her, nobody's going to kill you. You're safe. You and the kids. No one's coming after you. They just wanted Charlie. And I was just trying to reassure her. Because
so you declared he was dead on the basis of people saying it didn't look good.
On the basis of people, myself included, who've held dead and dying men from combat in horrible situations. And anybody who saw the killing and has that experience, we knew he was dead instantly.
Yeah. Something's not adding up.
Yeah, that whole thing is just very, very weird. But yeah, the 10 seconds, I don't know what that was. I don't know if it was just technical difficulties or if Candace was like, you know what? I'm not going to say this right now. I don't want that little part. Or cause I guess she couldn't even decide because she's live. Yeah, so it must have just been technical difficulties. Either way, the whole thing is very odd. And the fact that she is now subpoenaing him, the same way Blake had gotten a subpoena as well. Blake apparently has a information preservation order to him where he can't delete his communications for whatever reason. Maybe because he has communications with Candace. Maybe that's why they're doing that whole thing. So now Victor has that exact same thing. Now I have checked Victor's page. Victor has not responded to receiving that at all. He hasn't said anything about it yet. but we will see. So noon, that documentary comes out noon. Perfect. I was just told by somebody. Yeah, that's wild that she's doing that now. You know, somebody in the comments, you can always tell when someone in the comments just doesn't like Candace and they're just here to just like comment, you know, because somebody's just like, this is the last thing she wants, man. She doesn't care about discovery. This lawsuit's gonna do this and that. I'm like, have you never watched the show? Have you never watched the show before? Of course, this is what she wants. Now she's doing the thing she wants. She's like, okay, you can't delete information. She's going to start passing them out like Oprah. You can't delete information. You can't delete information. You can't delete information. Oh, it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. But, you know, the thing that sucks about it, and I said this before, is, you know, what if you just delete your stuff beforehand? It's just deleted. And you're just like, okay. So I would think Victor already has deleted everything. If there is any communications, you know, or maybe not, but we'll see. Candace now has the ability to say, hey, let's see what you got. Let's see what you guys have been talking about. Let's switch back to more important things. Get that off the screen. Who put that on the screen? Who put that on the screen again? Is it just me in this room? It's only me? Okay, fine. Anyway, let's move on. So Billy from Billy and Brandy said this recently. Yesterday, Candace Owens interviewed Victor Marx, Colorado candidate. We're going to get to more of Candace in a second, but I just wanted to run through this while she was talking about Victor. Regarding some weird behavior following Charlie Kirk's passing. Well, an amazing journalist, Corey Kennedy, I believe this is the Corey that they were referring to when they were talking in their interview. I do not know this person, but I will go through what what Billy was showing us. Previously released hundreds of pages of research on this man. Here's what she found. So we go through it. First, and this is just some information, just so you guys have it. I just thought it would be cool to just add it in. A more known fact: his name isn't Victor Marx. His own DD 124 or 124. I feel like you're supposed to say it differently. Whatever. DD 124. Military discharge papers were released November 2025 after public pressure. Lists him as Kennedy Von Victor. So I guess his name is Von Victor Kennedy. Radio operator. 3 years stateside. Candace stands corrected. How about that? No combat, no foreign service, no special ops. The combat survivor brand is fabricated, which is interesting. Very, very interesting. Again, this is just what she's found and what she's saying. A screenshot directly from Victor Marx 4CO in, let me see here. Oh yeah, she did write it. Yeah, it's because it's a DD 214. Why am I seeing all these different? Somebody corrected it. Who corrected it for me? Yeah, 214. Okay, thank you. 214 is how they say it. Okay, I got it. In February 2024, under pressure about his military service, Victor himself released his DD 214 or 214, the official military discharge document on the name. His name is not Victor Marx. It is not Von Marx. It is Von Victor Kennedy, which is very weird. Why hide that name? That's a great name to have. That's a solid name. His signature at the bottom, Von Victor Kennedy, enlisted in the U.S. Marines as Kennedy, served as Kennedy, and was discharged as Kennedy. Mark's explanation, he claims he used the name Kennedy versus Marx to shed his public persona. Marx enlisted in the Marines as a teenager. He had no public persona. He had no ministry, no platform, no fame, nothing to shield. He was 18-year-old kid joining the military. Kennedy was his name and has always been his name. Victor Marx is a character he invented later. Interesting. But it does have more of a supervillain type of feel to it. Borrowing the surname of his biological father, Karl Marx. What a name. A man who, by Victor's own account, didn't even claim him at birth. Interesting. Okay, so let's keep on rolling here because she has more. Again, this is just stuff I just wanted to put out there. This is according to her and Corey, of course, what they have found. Marx tells every audience that his stepfather, Mr. K, did this to him as a child and went to prison. He lets the audience assume the prison sentence was for what he did to Victor. It wasn't. Mr. K went to federal prison for smuggling 1,400 pounds of marijuana from Jamaica. Wow. That is ambitious. What makes this funny is Victor Marx's daughter has accused him of abuse. Wow. I didn't know that. I would love to. Well, I shouldn't say I'd love to, but I'd like to hear what she has to say about him. And these claims were publicly backed by the other child as well. Yeah, I forgot to throw some likes on Billy's name here. My apologies, Billy. My apologies here. Throw some likes on Billy's name here. Okay, here. Let me make sure I'm liking all these things. You gotta like things, just like you gotta like the video. Marx claims grassroots momentum online. Corey Kennedy ran a statistical analyst on his Facebook post and found 80% of the commenters on his page had accounts that were created after September 10th, 2025. The movement was created overnight. That's very interesting. Same thing happening with a couple of people running for mayor and also Thomas Massie, one of my congressmen. Sorry. Marx markets himself as humanitarian, rescuing children caught in rush hour traffic during an active UN arms embargo on Haiti. He ordered $26,000 in rifles with the engraving ATPM Haiti team. He then flew to Haiti and personally met with the warlord who controls 80% of Port-au-Prince. No humanitarian needs that. It's very interesting. Let me see what this article actually is that she's throwing up here. Look at that. I don't often trust. Good gosh, I don't often trust links, but this is the link that they're throwing up here. I'll have to share all this with you guys. This is like an incredible breakdown from what I can see here. Wow. And this does substantiate a lot of what Corby has said, actually. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to repost this for you guys because this is a lot of information. If you want to go through it, I'll make sure it's there for you guys to actually have access to. I'll even repost it right now for anybody that wants to check it out. Let's keep going here. In 2023, Marx publicly told the story of being shot on his own property. He didn't mention one detail. The shooter, switch over here, the shooter was his brother-in-law who had been living on the property for 2 years. 7 months after the incident, that man is shot and offed a lady in California. Marx hid the family tie until 2025, just 6 months ago. Wow, November 2025, just 6 months ago. Marx claims his 20-year-old son, JM, I don't know what that stands for, was Charlie Kirk's personal assistant. JM appears on Zero Turning Point Records. The only source for this claim is a Facebook post made by Marx the day after Charlie Kirk passed away, when he was no longer around to confirm nor deny. That's wild because I don't know, from all the investigations I've seen and all the work that I've done myself, I don't see anything like that at all with his son. His son is, everybody would have been all over that if his son was legit on here. Like, someone said they're not on X. I'll see if I can get it up somewhere somehow because it's a lot of information. Victor Marx claims to have been Charlie Kirk's mentor and close friend. Zero interviews, podcasts, or social media posts from Kirk support this. The only evidence is a book forward, often a paid arrangement. Marx is currently leading. This I did not know. Someone said this yesterday, and I was like, I'm like, what are you talking about? Marx is he's currently leading the COGOP Gov primary at 42%. Primary is June 30th, Colorado. Please listen. This man is so fake and gay. That's the scientific term, of course. Wild. So yeah, there's a bunch of information. Shout out to Billy. I will repost that again for anybody on here. For anybody that's on there, check this out. Anyway, Figured I'd just show you guys that really quick. Okay. On to more important things. Get that off the screen. Who put it on the screen? It's just me in here? Okay, fine. On to the next thing, guys. Come on. Come on. Be good people here. We're going to talk about...
Good. They only wanted to kill Charlie. Who's they? Who is they? They only wanted to kill Charlie. You and the children are fine. How could you say that? Would that be your first text to a widow? I don't feel like that's the first text to the widow. We're missing something. And hopefully we can start to put the puzzle pieces together, because
I told you in the beginning of the week when I saw Candace's first episode, I'm like, it's weird. It's like she's laying breadcrumbs. She's laying like bear traps around in these episodes, you know? And it's even more so now. It's like, whoa, what is she bringing up here? And she's right about that whole thing in terms of, and I brought this up yesterday. I said, if somebody said that to me and I was a widow, you know, God forbid, and the first thing they said is, don't worry, they aren't after you. They just wanted Charlie. They just wanted your husband. I'd flip out. I'd be like, what are you talking about? Who's they? You know, instead, Erika was just like, whew, phew. Okay, good. Do I get to take over the company? I sent you a site with all sorts on Victor Marx. Did you? Fearlessly Phoenixing? I feel like you've messaged me on Instagram. I have not seen it. Oh, there it is. Wow, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Okay. Yeah, it's like this whole thing. You know? Also, I'm not going to click the link. I'm not going to click it. Too scared. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'll get someone else to click it soon. I will. I really will. But let's keep going here. Now, this is where she starts to talk about the whole thing with Charlie updating his will. The fact that she is talking about Charlie updating his will, and I'm going to play it for you. I'm going to play all sorts of stuff for you, and then connects it to that lady. Oh my God. That other lady that happened to off her husband. Oh man. I'm telling you, man, I know a lot of people are like, listen, Candace is completely insane. I don't know, man. That's a bold thing to do unless you have some really good information. She's even calling out to investigators. She's like, come ask me for names. I have names. I mean, this coupled with what's coming with the Turning Point documentary that we're going to be covering today. I mean, Coach, tell Victor Marx hands behind his back. Yeah, soon. I'm sure somebody else is, you know. I know he says they're looking for Corby, but I don't know. You know, the word is it's the other way around. I don't know, so we'll see. But let's jump in here as she talks about this whole thing.
Shared with people that Charlie and her were due to sign updated end of life documents on September 15th. Let me say that again. Charlie and her had an appointment and a date to sign updated end of life documents on September 15th, the Monday after he died. That is remarkable timing.
This is so weird, because what was he going to do? And keep in mind, this is what I would call a will. When you call it a will, isn't that what a will is? She's making sure to say end of life documents. I don't know if that's just her in her vernacular. That's just how she says it. But she's making it very clear. She's saying end of life document. She's not saying will, right? But then when she talks about a corporate will, she says a corporate will. She doesn't say corporate end of life documents. So I found that very interesting. But what was Charlie about to change with this whole thing? What was he about to change? I don't know. It kind of feeds into what a lot of people say. A trust is not an end of life document. Like I'm gonna have a trust. Your kids could have trust. You could open a trust for your kid. That's not an end of life thing. You know what happens with the trust after you're gone? That's the end of life document. You know, like it's a will. But yeah, I was just gonna say. Someone just said divorce. It seems like those rumors, and they were rumors just like people say Erika was never pregnant and all these things that a lot of us don't feed into, but you see them on X. it feeds into the one where people were talking about their relationship being on the fritz and a possible divorce coming down the pipe. It really does feed into that. I don't know. Now I'm starting to believe it. When I first heard that, I'm like, oh, these are just people that don't like Erika, and they're just coming up with that theory. And like, where is that really? But then Candace started talking about it, and I was like, maybe. And now this, he was about to change something. But I feel like Candace did just say they were supposed to do it together. You know, that is are there pregnancy pictures? I don't know. Well, no, I guess. I don't know. She was at In-N-Out having milkshakes and whatnot. Okay. If you couldn't get a picture of her at In-N-Out having a milkshake, that's your own problem. That's your own fault. You got a picture of Tyler Robinson at Dairy Queen. You couldn't get a picture of Erika Kirk at In-N-Out enjoying milkshakes, animal fries and whatnot. I don't know. But yeah, it makes you wonder. Really makes you wonder. Really, really makes you wonder. Is Erika going to get arrested? Is she going to get arrested? That would be the craziest thing ever. Right? I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going.
That Charlie was just about to update his will, but then he didn't make it to Monday. Like I said, I trust the sources on this one. So how are we to interpret that? Okay, we have two options here. Neither one of them is particularly a positive outcome for Erika, I might add. Option one is that Erika was lying when she shared this information, okay? Perhaps, it's totally plausible, she said it out of insecurity, feeling that people might wonder why she was taking over his entire company, right? But remarkably, despite having the ability to present that in his will, a corporate will, his personal will, to say, I express this is my desire, Charlie hadn't particularly documented that desire, or else he would have been told that. So this would sort of rank similar to her telling Megyn Kelly that Charlie had only just expressed an aspirin 3 weeks before his untimely death, but he was abandoning his 10-year publicly expressed desire for women to prioritize their home life and their children above climbing the corporate ladder. It was, in my opinion, not something that he actually said outside of AI tools, but something that they thought they would have to pretend he said to assuage public questions and concern about the seemingly contrary move. So that's an option. There's an option that she just said that to someone in the same vein. Oh, you're probably wondering why I'm taking over his whole life here, why I'm going to be on that Air Force board, and why I'm going to be giving speeches and going on tour and being the CEO and chairman. Well, Charlie, it was crazy timing. Charlie was actually just about to update his end-of-life documents to reflect his brand new feminist desires that he had come on very quickly 3 weeks before his untimely passing. Alas. Right? That's an option. She just lied. Option two is that Erika is not lying, and that Charlie and her did indeed have an upcoming appointment on September 15th to adjust his will and testament. Then the question becomes, to what end and why? Okay? You don't just update your will for funsies. Right? That's not how it works. If you don't have a will, you just don't do that. It's a lot of paperwork, especially for somebody as fly-high as Charlie Kirk, especially if you're saying you're going in and you had an appointment to do it. That's this is not a little update that's happening. There are life events, right? Every time I have a child, you have to add a kid to your will. Okay, so they already get it. We're going to divide this amongst the children. There's one more kid. That gets done via email. When you are going in to do an update, there has to be a life event that warrants that sort of a change. Example, you hit the lottery. Oh, we hit the lottery. We've got billions. Let's get into that office and update our will and testament. Okay. Maybe you would do it if you completely decided to switch who you were doing your life insurance with for some reason. Maybe you get a better deal. I don't know. That might be, generally speaking, another reason that you were going in to change your will. It signals that there was a major shift in your personal life. So the question, the necessary follow-up question, if Erika is telling the truth, is what was this life-changing event? What was the reason that Erika and Charlie were just about to go in on the 15th to update his end-of-life documents? Okay.
Someone's saying maybe she's pregnant. maybe like Candace said, maybe she's lying and that's not true or like something of that nature. I don't know. Because if they go in together, it's like it could be pregnancy. You know, I don't know if you'd go in together because the story she brings up, the guy went by himself and secretly gave his sister everything and made sure to. So if he was worried about Erika, he wouldn't go into the whole thing with Erika, I guess. You know, maybe it was something he was supposed to do. But if he went by himself, then I would say, oh, okay, he's doing exactly what that guy did. That Candace is going to bring up soon when I play this other clip. He was doing the exact same thing, trying to get all the assets and everything away. I don't know. But also, we don't know who else was in it. We assume it's just Erika and kids. That's what we assume. That's what we assume. Also, when it comes to end-of-life documents, what else is in there? For us regular people, it's money, property if you're lucky. For Charlie, wouldn't it also be the company? Would that be a thing? Or is that go under the whole corporate will that he's supposed to have? I don't know. But something big happened. Something saying life support. Something. Maybe, what to do under life support, perhaps. You know, bank accounts, cars, exactly. Right? Maybe companies, turning point action. Corporate is separate. Okay. That would make sense. That corporate's separate. You know, the JE files. Yeah, maybe he was sorting out the JE files. I don't know. It's very, very weird, though. Very, very weird. Here, I already played that. Let's skip over to the next one here. I keep clicking on the screen to play the video. Yeah.
Sufferers of chronic common sense.
Okay, slow it down. I have it on 2.5 speed here. My bad. My bad. Slow it down for all you normal folk out there. Let me just slow it right down.
Literally every murder mystery ever in real life and within the world of fiction, a will change or a desired will change on Monday in the near future amidst an unexpected death event is something that investigators typically pay attention to. So investigators, if you'd like to reach out to me to receive the names of the people who Erika disclosed this information to, I would be happy and willing to provide it. Anything to assist in the non-investigation of Charlie Kirk that is happening from the FBI, the SBI, and the state of Utah. Let me know how I can not help. If Erika is telling the truth, I cannot think of a life event that would have warranted a change in Charlie's will. There may have been one, but in the midst of Charlie telling people that $10 million was missing from his company, allegedly, in the midst of him establishing a Doge internal audit to locate this alleged $10 million, which was subsequently canceled in the wake of his death, that audit was canceled. Why? In the midst of him texting those closest to him and saying, they're going to kill me tomorrow. I think I am going to be killed. I am fully within my right to wonder if he realized that there were a few snakes in his garden.
Has to be. That has to be it, right? Someone said power of attorney, right? But if he wanted to move it, like let's say Erika would have had power of attorney. If you wanted to move it away from her, would you really bring her with you? You know, maybe you'd bring the person who you want to transfer the power of attorney to, perhaps. I don't know. It's hard to know. But what Candace just said just now, there has to be some snakes in the grass. And, you know, with everything Candace just broke down, could you imagine thinking that it's just the left that did this? It's just the left because they didn't like the things that Charlie was saying. It is so not even possible for me to remotely believe that anymore. Before I was like, there is that option, and then there's this, and it is so gone. It's gone now. There's no chance that just some dude who likes to make love to Lance Twiggs was like, I gotta get him. He's too hateful. He's too hateful in what he has to say. There's no way that's what, like, in terms of the motivation, there's no way that was the motivation. There's no way that was the motivation. Are you kidding me? Imagine still thinking that. Imagine still thinking, I saw a leftist take out my friend. That Jack Posobiec just saying that all the time. I saw a leftist take out my friend and I saw the left celebrate. You can't think that anymore. With everything she just listed out, man, what did they do? I have to say, very smart bunch. Very smart bunch. Because all that's like laid out, but that's after Candace's with what she's been doing this open source investigation for what, 9-10 months now? If she wasn't doing this, we would just be like, it was the left. It would just be like, did Tyler act alone? That's it. That would be the question. Did he act alone? Couldn't have acted alone. Now it's like, what was happening? Because that Doge effort, I have to call it an effort, trying to dodge those letters. The Doge effort, because that alone shows that he was like, okay, there's something going on within my company and I have to understand exactly what's going on, because that's like a waste of time. If you think everything, it honestly is. It's a regular thing to do, but Charlie often said, I think of things in the macro. He's like, I don't like to micro things. He's like, I always think in the macro. So what in his macro level thinking towards his business, right? Because there's decisions that you make when you're within a business and there's decisions you make when you're above your business, right? And you make the real important decisions when you're above your business. When you're in your business working, it's very hard to make those type of decisions. So you have to actually move yourself like above the business to see all the moving parts. What in his macro mind was saying, I have to make sure of where all this money's coming from and where it's going. I have to make sure of that. You also have to remember, and we can't, I know I probably can't even say this word. He was texting Candace about the Talmud. He was texting her about that and asking her, hey, have you seen this? This doesn't seem very pro-Christian, this whole thing. I don't know. I don't think this thing's very pro-Jesus. I don't know. He was actually messaging her about that stuff. That's something to consider. A lot of people haven't really jumped on that the way I thought people would. I thought like Nick would be talking about it. I thought Dan Balzerian would be talking about it. I thought Tucker would be talking about it. No one's talking about the fact that he was messaging her about that and he was reading into it and not liking what he was seeing. That's a really big thing. And then the audit. And they're going to kill me. It's like, how could you possibly think he's talking about the left? How could you possibly think he's talking about the left, man? How could you think that? There's no way. There's no way he's talking about the left. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going here. Fun time with Candace. This was chilling. This is actually chilling. I don't know what you guys thought about this. The missing 10 million. Yeah. And you know what else? Oh, I forgot to bring this up. I remember the first video I saw from Dax, and I think he sent it to me or he tagged me in it or something like that. But it was a video about him going through the corporate side of things and what Erika stood to gain from putting herself in the CEO position. And there was some kind of policy that was deactivated. And then when she came in, it was reactivated. And he didn't exactly know how much she would get, but there was the payment for it was in the range of like $300,000 to $400,000. The payment for this policy. And then it wasn't like an Erika policy. It was whoever was CEO stood to gain from that policy. So if they put whoever they put in that position would have gained from it. And Dax, I keep saying Dax, Danks was saying that he thought the reason that she stepped in as CEO is so she could gain from that policy. I remember that was the first video I saw from him. And there's a connection. It was 30 million. So somebody saying it was 30 million. And there's a connection between what Candace is talking about here and what Danks was covering in that video. There's definitely a connection. I don't know what it is. I've been working on Ben Shapiro jokes all morning. I don't know what it is. Ask Daisy, ask Baron. I have no idea. When do they come back? Right? But there's some kind of connection there. I couldn't find the Danks video. I should actually just, Yo, I'm live right now, and I need to find that video you made about the Erika Kirk Turning Point life insurance policy thing, comma. Do you remember making a video like that? Question mark. It was months ago. Let's see. Hopefully he responds. I'd be lucky if he was watching. I miss Baron too. I actually contacted him. Baron's doing just fine. So everybody knows he is actually doing just fine. He's doing great. Daisy's doing great. They're all good. We will see them soon. Coach, I can send it to you. Send it to me via X or Instagram if you can. This guy knows Danks. Of course I know Danks. Yeah, of course. Danks built the Discord that I have. He built the whole thing. He built it in like an hour. It just gave it to me. Yeah, Danks is great. God bless you, Coach. Completely spelled my name wrong. Let's just put this on Front Street really quick. Completely put an M in my name. Put 2 O's in my name and put an M in my name. Okay, Coach Coolooms, and tagged you for Danks' video. Coach Coolooms? I hope that name doesn't spread. Don't spread that around. How dare you? Anyway. But thank you if you did tag me. Because Danks doesn't seem like he's answering right now. Let me see here. And again, I'm asking Danks because I know Danks could actually like direct me right to a timestamp of it, but it is a very necessary thing to have. Somebody said they tagged me. 20 people have tagged me in something. Yeah, I always get terrified when I get too many tags on me. All right. There is the video. Beautiful. Bookmark that. Let's see here. I could be wrong, but I feel like there is a pretty deep connection in these two things. Go to X quickly. Coach Coolooms, thank you so much. Thank you for that new name. Thank you for bringing that to the Coach Colin universe. Oh, Coach Colonoscopy. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks so much, guys. I mean, just really doing God's work there, guys. Thanks so much.
That is why Erika Kirk is the CEO of Turning Point USA. She didn't become CEO because she was qualified. She didn't become CEO because it was Charlie's dying wish. She became the CEO because I'm going to show you exactly why Erika Kirk is the CEO of Turning Point USA. And you will never be able to convince me otherwise. Not speculation, not theory, straight documentation. And you tell me if you believe what I'm saying and what the documents are saying or what they're saying. We're going to take a look at this form here. So this is a form called a 990. All right. It's a tax return that every nonprofit organization has to file with the IRS every single year. It's public. Anybody can look it up. These are financial disclosures that organizations like Turning Point USA are legally required to submit annually. And I've been going through TPUSA's 990s for days, going on weeks now, page by page, line by line. And I've gone through every single IRS documentation from every single Turning Point entity. All right. There's actually 4, but we're focusing on Turning Point USA Incorporated, the LLC's 990. Now, I've been looking for irregularities. I've been looking for
Hold on, I'm going to switch to YouTube. Just easier to navigate.
There's actually 4, but we're focusing on Turning Point USA Incorporated, the LLC's 990. Now, I've been looking for irregularities. I've been looking for patterns, and I've found something that is going to shatter everything that they've told us about what is going on about Schedule L. We're going to get right to it.
Get to this. Hold on.
So if you look up here, it says Schedule L. All right. Transactions with interested persons. So essentially, this is dealing with involved insiders, board members that they do deals with. There's an entry in here. Essentially, these are loans. Okay. So you can see here, it says loans to and or from interested persons. Okay. So it says name of interested person. So that means that they're giving a loan to this company, GGLF 2023 LLC. All right. This stopped me, and it made me, I had to go through it a few times because I didn't quite grasp. I had to reach out to a buddy of mine and ask him because, this isn't my wheelhouse. I'm not a tax advisor. You know what I mean? So this is new territory for me. But once I did, that's why it's taken me a few days to come out with this research, because this is something that shattered me when I realized what was going on. So look at this entry here. This is a loan to, okay, not from, it's name of interested persons. If it was for TPUSA, it would be of to TPUSA, okay? The interested persons for the loan is GGLF 2023 LLC. It's a loan for $350,000. And I'll zoom in there so you can see it. The original principal amount, okay, from Turning Point USA going over to something called GGLF 2023 LLC, as you can see right here. All right. Now, the purpose is a split dollar life insurance policy. All right. Loan to or from the organization. You have to understand what this means. All right. So the organization is always going to be referred to as TPUSA because that is the organization that is filing this 990. So any entity or mention of organization is always going to be the organization filing the 990 or the documentation to IRS. So it says relationship with organization, purpose of loan, loan to or from the organization. It's from TPUSA to GGLF 2023. And it says this line right here, read it with me. It says entity owned by president or CEO.
Man, Gigi Lori Franzvi. You guys are really, there's a few people have said that. That's interesting. Then somebody says, isn't Gigi his daughter? Yes, there's also that. Gigi on her rings as well. Yes, there's also that. I want to go to something else though. Again, I would have to actually show this to Danks or have him hear Candace's episode but the timeline of it being dissolved is really weird. Formation and dissolved. I just want to get to that really quick.
Pay attention because this is where it's going to get dark. All right. May 15th, 2023, the LLC of GGLF 2023 created in Wyoming, organizer of Stephanie L. Hooper. This was set up from Charleston, South Carolina tax attorneys who specialize in a specific type of tax law. Okay. Now, the founder is David Taylor, and I'm going to show you their firm's website, taylortaxlaw.com. All right. And an uncommon tax law firm. All right. And from the founder himself says, I'm motivated by taking on a problem which others have said is impossible to solve and which has a life-changing impact on our clients if solved. I solved the problem by being able to utilize 3 decades of experience. What is a great way to live life? By changing the lives of our clients. Why don't they have their information on their uncommon? What is an uncommon tax law firm exactly? I'm kind of curious on what that means exactly. What's interesting as well is that their staff has no mention of the people that sign the documentation as attorneys who actually are on the forms that you're going to see right now. Initial filing. Okay. The initial filing for GGLF 2023 LLC from the Wyoming Secretary of State. It shows right here, limited liability company. The organization is GGLF 2023 LLC. The name and physical address of the registered agent is 30 North Gold Street, Suite R. Mailing address is also that. So the LLC, GGLF, the loan company that took out the life insurance for the president and CEO of Turning Point USA, is the same address signed by Stephanie L. Hooper, working for Taylor Foley Law, okay? Attorney at law, phone number and everything. This is so crazy. Stephanie L. Hooper, look at where this company is located at. This is important for all of us to understand so that we can go through this together and you can understand the situation that's being had right now. A $350,000 loan went to a building that has no company name on it for GGLF. It's registered to other companies, and an art studio or what have you, Souvenir LLC is there instead. That's actually has business hours. So they're obviously a location. They have
watch this.
The beneficiary of the life insurance policies company, which is a dead company. All right. She's named president / CEO of TPUSA 8 days after her husband's murder. Now also owns and controls GGLF 2023 LLC. Let that sink in for a second, okay? September 18th, 2025, 8 days after Charlie is killed, Erika Kirk is named president and CEO of Turning Point USA, which means that she owns LLC GGLF 2023. And then on December 3rd, okay, LLC is reinstated. Okay, someone brought GGLF back from the dead back to life. That person is Virginia Brown. There's no signature. It's a typed name. I have it right here. Okay, Wyoming Secretary of State, GGLF 2023 is effective dissolution 7/9/2025. And then December 3rd, 2025, Virginia Brown of the same Taylor tax law from registration. So they're running this registrations tax company out of, I guess, Wyoming, okay, for God knows why, filed 84 days after Charlie Kirk was killed. Someone filed the paperwork. Why? And why is it an attorney with no signature? And why is it a Wyoming company from an entity that's based out of Charleston, South Carolina, called Taylor Tax Law? I stayed up for the last few days. Honestly, I've barely slept trying to figure out the answer to the question, why December 3rd, why midnight, and what deadline were they racing against? Again, 7/9/2025, they were dissolved. 12/3/2025, they were reinstated. This is the life insurance policy company that received the loan from TPUSA. This is already self-dealing, okay? President of TPUSA gave himself a loan to his own LLC in the name of $350,000, which is illegal.
Someone's like, I hope you're going to summarize and make a joke. Hey, man, hey, just rewind it and listen to it again, okay? But there's some kind of connection there between what Candace is talking about and what Danks is talking about here. There's something there. I don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you fully because Danks understands that way more. Candace understands what she's talking about way more. But there's some kind of connection there, okay? Some weird connection that made it so Charlie is doing this whole thing with changing this will. And then, listen, most of you from the high IQ outfit, okay? You can't just ask for a summary. I'm just going through what I think. This wasn't a planned thing. I didn't plan to go through Danks's video there, but it just came to mind. I was like, there has to be something like connected there. You know, he's about to go and change this will or this end of life document. He's about to do this on a Monday. He doesn't even make it to the Monday. This whole thing is dissolved. This GGLF, it's dissolved. It's brought back to life by December. I think he said December, but it's brought back to life. The person who stands to gain is the person who's CEO. No one knows the amount. Like we're saying 30 million, but nobody fully knows the amount that they stand to gain, but there's something that they stand to gain. Okay. Somebody said, interesting. If I'm not mistaken, one of the last 110 LLC payments was for like $350,000. Yeah, something along those lines. Something along those lines. Very, very weird. The whole thing's very, very weird. Again, not 100% sure of what's going on there, but as you look into everything, it's seeming very, very shady. Very linked to the money. As they say, always follow the money. You know, let me pull myself out of this little place. pull myself back onto the screen. But yeah. Interesting. I would love to talk to Danks about that. See if he actually knows of any connection there. I would love to talk to him about that. He never answered. I would have him jump on right now if he could explain it more. That'd be great. Let's move on to what Candace was talking about. We're still in the Candace trenches right now. Not moving on to Turning Point just yet, although this documentary should be going live in less than 30 minutes. So we'll check that out when it actually does happen. Little impromptu thing here, if you don't mind. But yeah, shout out to Danks. Interesting stuff. But I want to see what he thinks of this. With all that knowledge that he has of this, I would wonder what he thinks of this. Because if there's, what was Charlie going to do? Maybe Wolves in Finance did a great breakdown as well. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Between what Wolves was talking about, I know exactly what episode you're talking about. When he actually goes to the place to check, like, if the business is real and it's a PO box and there's millions of dollars moving through it. I think that's where he talks about Jake Hoffman. With all of that happening, and then this GGLF thing, and then what Candace is talking about with terms of these end of life documents. I don't know. Hands behind someone's back. So someone should have their hands behind their back. Anyway, let's keep going here. I think I was already on this clip. Hold on.
Who was going to benefit from his death?
See what I mean? We just went through that whole GGLF thing, and then she said, who was going to benefit? Well, in that instance, allegedly, maybe, it seems like whoever, I'm not even going to say Erika, whoever is put in the CEO position ends up benefiting from that whole GG thing,
Did Charlie actually make the appointment alone? Actually, that's a possibility too, right? Were his communications being monitored? Did he try to carve out an appointment because he was fearful of some death event, as he expressed? And did he try to radically then shift, learning that he had suspected somebody was taking money, siphoning money out of Turning Point USA, that his life was not what he thought it was? He's asking, I want Candace back. Why? Why does he want Candace back? Because I told him not to trust any of those people. All of the people that the world now sees are the snakes that were in Charlie's garden. I saw them first, and I warned Charlie about those people. So what happened? Were they monitoring? I think they were. I believe, I know everyone had access to everything. Andrew Colvett was running his Twitter. Mikey had his laptop. I mean, everybody did have access to Charlie's everything because he was too trusting. Did they find out somehow that he was going in to change his will? I don't know. But these are questions that ought to be asked when the entire narrative that is currently being presented to us makes entirely no sense.
No sense. Oh, now let's move on to this. I let that run a little long. But this part here, this is where it gets very chilling, where she brings up this lady. Again, this is like the breadcrumbs thing, because she doesn't even go like, hey, look at this crazy connection here. She's just like, oh, I just wanted to just show you guys that really quick. And we're all like, the lady did what to her husband? She did what? She poisoned them? Like, we thought we were going to get a whole breakdown of this whole case. I thought she was going to go into this whole thing. Nah, it's crazy. All right, let's play this.
Parent, a sibling, or a friend talking about loss with kids can be a tricky subject.
That has to be double speed. That can't be that lady's regular voice. What is she, Ben Shapiro's sister? Anyway.
Yes, now is author of Are You With Me? Corey Richens, to share her 3 C's to helping kids cope with grief. And Corey, I want to start with your story. What happened in your personal life?
So my husband passed away unexpectedly last year. So it's March 4th was a 1-year anniversary for us. And he was 39. It completely took us all by shock. And we have 3 little boys, 10, 9, and 6. And, we my kids and I kind of wrote this book on the different emotions and grieving processes that we've experienced last year. And, hoping that it can kind of help other kids, deal with this and kind of, find happiness some way or another.
And to make sense and process, I'm
Yes.
sure. And I'm sure you felt that going through and trying to explain it and articulate it for you and your boys.
Yes, exactly.
A month later, she would be arrested over a year after her husband had passed away. And I wanted to mention that because changing wills, changing life insurance policy was a huge piece of the prosecution's case against her.
I mean, she just jumps right into this, but like, as you're watching that clip, you're watching a lady. You're watching a lady. Let me just hit that clip just one more time.
Kind of, find happiness some way or another.
And
She killed her husband. It's crazy. It's nuts. She looks fine. She looks normal. Sitting down with two well-to-do ladies here, Nice jacket. Don't know why she's wearing a jacket on TV. Fine, but looks normal. Wrote a book, children's book. Killed her husband.
it makes sense and process, I'm
Yes.
sure. And I'm sure you felt that going through and trying to explain it and articulate it for you and your boys.
Yes, exactly.
A month later, she would be arrested over a year after her husband had passed away. And I wanted to mention that because changing wills, changing life insurance policy was a huge piece of the prosecution's case against her. See, her husband, Erika Kirk, also her victim, gratefully and successfully managed to transfer his entire estate and business interests into his sister's name covertly. A few weeks before he passed away, before he was murdered, he was feeling like someone might kill him and that someone was his wife. And so he coordinated with his sister and transferred everything into her name. His wife had no idea that he had done it shortly before he died, and out of fear for figuring out who his wife was. Simultaneously, the court heard that Corey herself attempted to change the beneficiary of his corporate life insurance so that she would receive it 100% of the payout. But she got caught. Both of these changes signaled to the jury that something was amiss. Eric was terrified of his wife. And like I said, fortunately for Eric, he had people in his orbit and in his life that he was actually able to trust with that information, that he was able to trust when he said, I think she's going to kill me. Anyway, that's.
I got to say, I talk about it all the time with ghosts and scary things like that. There's a way that black people react to things and a way that white people react to things. I think my wife's going to kill me. I'm going to go sit down and have breakfast with her right now. She made some oatmeal. I don't know what she's going to do, but she might get me. Shh, don't tell anybody. A black guy would be like, listen here, bitch. I don't trust you. Get out of my house. Get out of my house. Throw her out like Uncle Phil used to throw out Jazzy Jeff. Get out of my house. Don't you worry about it, neighbors. This lady is crazy. She's crazy. Be squared up in the front yard. I know what you're going to do. Huh? Let's go. No, you want to act like a man. Huh? What you want to do? No, I seen the text messages. I know what you got coming. Huh? What you going to try and do? You try to poison me? Huh? You try to poison me? What are those two doing across the street? They're just working some stuff out. Just let them work it out. Come on. Huh? Black guys always fight like this. They fight like this. They do this. They got the wide foot stance. The feet are this wide, and they go like this. They're ready. They're ready to go. He would have just drove away. Black husband would have been like, "Oh, I just left. I don't know. She's in New York. I'm in Florida. No big deal. I just have to stay far away from her. That's all. Yep. I think she's going to kill me. So I had to go. Mama, I swear I think this lady here gonna gonna off me something fierce like a Charlie Kirk. Oh, baby, you know what you got to do. You got to get your Bible, get your shotgun, and pray to Jesus. Stay away from that lady. You know I never liked her, not one bit. I know you didn't like her, but that was you was tripping on something. Baby, I told you, I always tell you, mama knows best, and I done told you so many times, stay away from that lady, mama. We can't talk about that right now. There's a mountain of evidence, and I got to get away from this lady. I think she's gonna poison me. Oh Lord, not my baby with the poison. All right, had to get that out of my system. You know, when you're a comedian, you gotta get the jokes out. They gotta go out. They can't stay in for too long. You know, it becomes like poison inside your body. You gotta get those jokes out, no matter how bad they are. You know, you gotta get them out. You gotta get them out. You gotta get them out as soon as possible. Sorry about that, everybody. The monologue, everything. I had to get that out, or else I'd just be thinking about it the whole time. The whole time, I just in my head, I'd just be like, "Mama, I gotta get away from this lady." And I'd be thinking about black guys fighting like this the whole time. The whole time we're watching Candace together, and I'd just be thinking about black guys like this, and it's just too much. It's just too much. I gotta get it all out of my head. I'm sorry. I had to get it all out. But it's crazy. It's crazy that guy didn't do anything. He was like, I'm just going to covertly move everything over to you because I can't trust this lady. And then went and slept with the lady beside her. If that was a black guy, she'd be going to sleep. She'd be like, baby, what are you doing? Just be standing in the corner of the room like this. I ain't doing nothing. What you doing? I ain't doing nothing. I ain't tired. I know what time it is. I know exactly what time it is. Nah, I don't got nothing to do. Now, why don't you go ahead and sleep? Just arms crossed. Mad. Can't trust this lady. Oh my gosh. Wild. And it's sad. And it's also sad. You know, I'm making jokes here, but like, again, it's one of those things. I've said this about Charlie too. If he was like more vocal about things, and I'm not even talking about towards Erika, just like towards the messages he was receiving and what people were saying to him on his phone. And if he was vocal about thinking that somebody was actually going to off him potentially and why, if he was just more vocal about it, he possibly could have changed the way things turned out. And it's the same with this guy. If he was more vocal, you can't just go to your sister and say, don't worry, we got it all handled. You got to be like, I don't know what's going to happen. I need a place to stay. You know, go to the police station. Hey, just so you guys know, I think something's going to happen to me. I think my wife's going crazy. I can't prove it. I'm just letting you guys know. Like, get vocal about this stuff. You got to yell about this stuff. Sadly, men don't speak. It's true. That is true, man. You know, in Charlie's case, yeah, he was being monitored. This guy could have just like yelled, but Charlie could have yelled too. They couldn't stop Charlie from doing a podcast. He'd be like, I'm doing a podcast. They couldn't stop him from voicing these type of things when he was, you know, sitting in front of a college crowd, university crowd. They couldn't stop him from, you know, he could have still said something. But in regards to the text messages, you know, if Mikey had his laptop, if Charlie was Apple, if he was rolling with Apple, then you would have access, potentially, if you connect the two. A lot of people do. They tend to do it. It's a little easier. You'd have access to somebody's text messages via their computer. In fact, it might even get to the point where when that person receives a text message, the computer would get dinged if the computer's on. And then you'd be able to watch that person's conversation. So anyway, let's keep going here. I got very sidetracked. My bad.
Just an aside. I will reiterate my my earlier point that any attempted or recently accomplished will changes surrounding an unexpected death event should be further investigated. So if you'd like to reach out to me, investigators, I'm here and ready to help. I suspect I won't be hearing from you. And dare I say, Erika, if you're interested. No, of course not. We'll be right back after a break.
It is wild that no one's going to reach out to her, and get those names. The thing is, though, she has those names, right? She even says here about the names, about the people that she's talking about. She even talks about them here.
The people who brought forward that information.
Of course, I'm listening to it that fast. My mornings are just filled with coffee and fast talking.
That I've been sitting on for a while. I would say they have unimpeachable character. Unimpeachable character. There's no motives that people would be able to assign to that. Never be able to say, oh, this person said this. They came forward because they thought it was weird. Because it is weird. It could not be weird. Maybe there's a reason Charlie wanted to do that at the same time that he thought people were going to kill him and he wanted to conduct a Doge audit. Maybe. I don't know. But I'd certainly like to find out. And something else that they said that was mentioned, which was later confirmed by the Daily Mail in their investigation into the AI video, was that Erika also communicated that a Turning Point USA board member was going to be helping them with those changes. Interestingly enough, you might recall from that Daily Mail article that they said that they spoke to a TPUSA board member who said that he was helping with those affairs. I wonder who that is. It's probably one of the people that signed the letter announcing Erika. And this is if I'm just taking a shot in the dark. I would imagine it was one of the board members who announced that Erika was going to be the CEO and the chairman. Maybe like a Doug DeGroot, Mike Miller. I don't know. Like I said, if I was an interested investigator, these would be some crumbs that I would follow.
So someone actually did follow those crumbs. I wonder if I pulled it up. Did I pull it up? I did. Project Constitution actually went in on that little breadcrumb because he was like, Project Constitution. He's a wild card. He gets in a lot of trouble. But he's like, okay, this one's directly from Candace. He's like, I think I can take this one and run with it. so he actually did, and he looked into that board member. Apparently, the board member who told the Daily Wire, Charlie wanted Erika to be CEO is Doug DeGroot, the same guy who handles all Charlie's personal finances, will, and end of life documents. Again, this is what he is alleging, just from his brief breakdown, because he's had less than 24 hours to actually look into this whole thing. Charlie Kirk himself confirmed on the Iced Coffee Hour. I know that podcast. The guy that does it is a guy named Doug DeGroot. He's phenomenal. He's just a family office. That's the exact same Doug DeGroot, who is currently a Turning Point USA board member. Was the anonymous source who told the Daily Mail he personally helped Charlie and Erika's estate and financial planning, that Charlie wanted Erika to take over if anything happened to him. Wow, so he has a connection there too, possibly. Is the unimpeachable source who brought Candace this information about Charlie and Erika's scheduled appointment on Monday, September 15th, the day after Charlie's passing, to update Charlie's will and end of life documents. Doug DeGroot isn't just some board member. He is the one person who knows the truth about whether Erika is lying or telling the truth about that September 15th meeting. Candace has just connected all the dots live on her show. This is no longer speculation. So this is where Project Constitution always goes wrong. He's like, this is not speculation. You say, we have a little motto called perhaps, allegedly, maybe, perhaps. You know what I mean? We have a little thing that we say here. Barron says, my opinion. Project Constitution's motto is, this is not speculation. This is 100% real. And I stand on this. Gotta respect it. But you gotta watch out, man. You gotta watch out, Let's see this clip he's talking about. This is the Iced Coffee Hour.
Do you manage your own money, or do you have people?
No, I have a great guy that does, but I call a lot of shots. Like I make macro decisions, not micro decisions.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I say. I'm not a good micro investor. Buy this company, not that company. The only thing I'll say is, like, when Elon's company went on Tesla, I want to buy Tesla just as kind of a symbolic philosophical thing, because I thought he was being treated so terribly. But like macro stuff, I'll get involved in. So, for example, if there's like, hey, I want to invest in more artificial intelligence, or I think that, oil is undervalued. We'll have a conversation. The guy that does it is a guy named Doug DeGroot. He's phenomenal. And so he's just a great family office, really sweet guy.
So it could be Doug DeGroot. Could be. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell in this whole thing. He is a board member. He does handle finances. Charlie just confirmed it. Is he the person that would be helping Charlie and Erika with this type of thing? I don't know. I do not know. Weird, man. Weird. Starting to come together. A lot of things are starting to come together. It seems like, again, Candace is laying out these traps. I said at the beginning of the week, Candace is laying out these traps, it seems, like these breadcrumbs, it seems. She's putting things out for other people to look into. She's putting things out for herself to further explain down the line. That's what I think, at least, especially with Monday's episode. Monday and Tuesday's episode really made me think that quite a bit. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here with Doug DeGroot. Let me see. We have gone to their page before, Turning Point's page. We could always look into the man. No problem with you, Doug. Just randomly looking into you. It is DeGroot. Hey, man, I don't care. Let me just see here. Board member, Turning Point. He serves along Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk, Mike Miller. So he's associated with Mike Miller. Certified financial planner, MBA in financial planning. Before establishing DeGroot Financial Group, he founded the United Wealth Management Division of United Capital and was a partner at Crowell, Windu and Co. Okay. I would love to see him on the website if possible. Can we get that? Can we get him actually on the website? Never seen this guy before. Oh, okay. I have seen this guy before. I'm sure you guys have too. Come on. It won't even let me click on him anymore. Oh, that's interesting. I can't even click through to see him. But he's on the board of directors alongside Charlie, who's still there. Okay. Erika, who's there, of course. This is Mike Miller. Okay. Interesting. So again, there's something coming together here. Let's move along here into the next part. What is this next part that I have? Oh, yeah. So we're ending that off. Hope you guys have had fun with, black guys fighting impressions and Officer Tatum impressions. We're moving on to the next part here. This is very, very, he looks like a chump. Well, I mean, he might not be a chump. He might not be a Trump at all. He might be a crafty guy. I don't know. Anyway, Candace Owens, last part here. I found this to be very interesting, and we're going to talk about the Rogan apology as well that she covered.
Making sure that video is number one.
Of course. So why didn't I change it at all? I'm usually really good at this, and not today. Just not today.
In the morning, that is not something that we are going to let go. We need to keep the pressure on Erika Kirk and Turning Point USA. Okay? Because it's working. We are getting more information. They're making more foolish decisions. I mean, how ill-advisable to go to the Daily Mail to say, we're going to host a little private screening with you. What was it, on Zoom or something? And we're going to show you how real this video is. It's so real. We're the victims of the conspiracies, even though we're the ones that presented the video to telling people that it existed, and then decided to have Erika walk out to just the audio of it. They just think they're smarter. That's not so many little Icarus birdies just flying so close to the sun. We've got power. We've got money. We've got Epstein class connections. We could do whatever we want. We'll see about that. Vengeance does not belong to me. Nope, not at all. But I've just seen it so many times. People like this who just think that they have enough power to be bad people, to lie, and to dupe the public. They're not regular. They've classed up. Okay. Anyway, regarding the White House Correspondents' Dinner, we will keep the countdown going. And
so with the White House Correspondents' Dinner, she actually has made a FOIA request. I found that to be very interesting. I know the Garys and the Grahams and the Shapiros of the world would have you think she's just a raving maniac or like Blake Neff said, a crazy person on a subway cart, wielding some kind of weapon. But I mean, for you to do that FOIA request into that whole thing, that makes me believe the letter is even more real, because we have to be honest. When she retypes a letter, we go, okay, well, you could have just typed, like, it is true. She could have just typed it. I don't think she did, but she could have, right? But for her to go a step further and say, okay, let's make a FOIA request into this, that makes me believe it even more. So just wild what's going on with that whole thing. Now, I mean, getting into the Rogan apology, I saw one person, they're like, oh, I think she let Rogan off like a little light. I kind of feel, I wouldn't say I feel like that, but I don't think it was the coolest thing. Like she said this was like the coolest thing we've seen on JRE. I don't exactly agree with that, only because if you play just the part that she played. Now, if you guys were here yesterday, I played this whole thing. Okay. I played this whole thing. Let me just get this person out of here. I played this whole thing. It's like 20 minutes. If you play the whole thing, it's very weird. If you play the chunk that she played, it like sums it up and it's like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. But it wasn't like this 1 minute, 20-second thing. It was this weird, clunky 20-minute thing where it was just like very weird. And you know what someone reminded me of in the comments when it came to this whole thing? I think someone said this in the comments. They're like, Joe did the same thing to Alex. Balix Tones, as we call him here. He did the same thing to him. And then when that person said that to me, I was like, oh yeah, and he did the same thing to Roseanne. He actually did. When Roseanne was going off the ledge, quote unquote, and saying things that she wasn't supposed to say, whereas if you look at her podcast now, she is saying things that are very in line with the administration. Very much so, especially on one certain topic. I'm sure you can guess which one. Now she's all on board. But she wasn't before. She was saying wild things. And I remember he was like, oh yeah, she's had a head injury and her mind's all messed up. She's brain damage. That's what he said about her. She has brain damage. You know that? Did the same thing to Eddie Bravo also. Well, not really to Eddie Bravo. He didn't really do the same thing to Eddie Bravo. Him and Eddie Bravo have like intense back and forths. And you can tell Joe's just kind of fed up. And Eddie's just like, hey, listen, I don't know nothing. That's how Eddie always, hey, listen, I don't know nothing. Because Eddie's very, has a lot of humility that way. He knows what he knows, but he's not going to try and really force it down people's throats, especially if they don't want to hear it. He even said that on when I sat down with Eddie Bravo, he was like, listen, I'm not trying to wake people up anymore. He's like, if you're awake, come. He's like, let's talk. Let's talk ideas. But if you're not, he's like, I got no interest in you. So he's very firm on that. So he didn't really do it to Eddie Bravo so much. But with Roseanne, he was like, she has brain damage. He said this on multiple shows. And I remember thinking like, wow, I'm like, if that was me, I wouldn't like someone saying that I had brain damage like that. Yeah. And then he did the same thing about Alex. He's like, Alex, alcohol, feud. He had a psychotic break, all of this stuff. And I was like, that's an odd thing to say about that. It could be true. I don't know. I've never met Alex before, right? Even before or after the Shekels. I've never met Alex before. I have no idea. But I mean, I don't know. It is weird that he's done this before to a few people. And again, I say this because I really do think there is something to the power of Theo Von. I think that Theo is most people that meet him, and I've met a couple people that have met him, they love him. Like what you're actually seeing is what it actually is. The silliness that you actually see is actually that. The real feelings that you see that he puts forth, he's actually that. So people love him, right? But it does speak to his power. There is a power in love. There's a power in fear, right? Some people have so much money and power that they're feared. and it's disguised it's disguised in love, right? But there's some people who have like a real power of love. Theo seems to be one of those people. It kind of speaks to his power. Oh, I just heard my kids scream no so loud. Oh, so annoying when she does that. She just goes, no. Like she's Denzel Washington in Training Day, you know? But it does speak to the power of Theo Von. Joe got a call from Candace. Could you imagine? Candace is like, we're both really big podcasters, Joe. We both just sit in a room and we talk, and we both know Theo. So I'm going to cover this. Okay. Before I do, you could apologize or you could not. And that will dictate how I cover this. Can you imagine? But yeah, it kind of speaks to Theo's power, I think. And again, it's the power of love. It's not like Joe's scared of Theo. I don't think that. I just think everybody can see how loved Theo is. It's not fake. It's not bots. It's not inorganic. It's actually wildly organic. It's actually really, really real. Even the people he's had falling outs with still love Theo Von, you know? So yeah, when she said it was like the coolest thing, I was just like, I don't know about that. Like, I get it. I get what she was saying. She's like, when I'm in the room with you guys, Theo is a golden lamb. I know what you mean by that. You know, she was like, when I'm with you guys, I feel like I'm just talking to my friends and, you know, things could just slip. You know, she was saying, you know, most people think Joe should just know what to say, what not to say, because he's the #1 podcast. Even Joe said, you know, when I'm just talking to someone, I'm just having a conversation. I get that. I do get that a little bit. Maybe because I'm in comedian mode when I do this podcast, I kind of know what's coming. You know, sometimes I get caught off guard and there's a thing in my head and I'm like, oh, I have to say this and it's going to be funny and stuff. But I mean, I kind of know what I'm saying. Maybe it's because, you know, I try not to say the N word or the F word or the really cool F word or the I word or this word or that word. All the words I can't say. I can't even say abbreviations that have PAC at the end of them. I can't even say that. There's so many words. You know, maybe it's because of that. I'm pretty in tune with what I'm talking about as I'm talking to you guys, you know, but I do get what she's saying, you know, and I'm glad she's, you know, not going to war with Joe Rogan. I did think that was going to happen when she started talking about it. I was like, oh, this is going to be crazy. I'm like, the thumbnail's just going to be her and Joe Rogan fighting. I was like, that's what my thumbnail's going to look like tomorrow. And then she's like, I like what he did. And I was like, all right. We'll figure out a different thumbnail, you know? But I still stand where I stand. I think the apology was odd. Very, very odd. I don't understand why it was so much. I don't understand why it was so clunky. I don't get why it was... So I guess it had to be public. I don't know. Like maybe Theo wanted it to be public. I don't know. The whole thing was weird. You guys know. You guys were there with us. It was so weird. It was a weird apology. You know. But you know, Candace feels like it was the coolest thing that she's seen on JRE. And here's another thing. Here's another thing I'll bring up because she's talking about the apology because she's like, no one ever apologizes. But the thing is, Joe has apologized before. This is not the first time that he's apologized about something. Again, I brought it up before, the N-word thing. There was a time way before Myron and Nick and all those guys, Joe just used to let the N-word fly. He's like, listen, if I'm explaining something and has the N-word in it, I'm going to say it. He goes, I have to say it. He goes, what, I can't say a word? He's like, it's just a word. That's how he would be. He was one of the first guys to be doing that, way before the guys you see now, way before. And he would always just say it. And then eventually they compiled every single time and they did a hit piece on him. And he apologized for that. And you could tell in that apology, you know, I could pull that up, I guess. I guess I can find it. How could I find that? We'll go to X And we'll go to Joe Rogan N-word apology. That's so funny. Let me see here. No, see, I gotta find the N-word one. See, right now, all you can find is the Theo one. But there's one where he apologizes for saying the N-word so many times over the years. He's wearing all black. You know, where is the N-word apology? Is that TMZ? Oh, TMZ. Let's go. TMZ sucks, as always. Not showing me nothing. Let me see here. Trevor Noah even commented on it. People were commenting on it. Come on. I mean, Joe used to say the N-word more than Samuel L. Jackson. If you believe it. No, I can't find it. That's so annoying. That is so annoying. It was back in 2022 when he made this apology. No, doesn't have it there. I know it's on his Instagram, but I'm not going to go and find it on his Instagram. Oh, there it is.
Hello, friends. I'm making this video to talk about the most regretful and shameful thing that I've ever had to talk about publicly. There's a video that's out that's a compilation of me saying the N-word. It's a video that's made of clips taken out of context of me of 12 years of conversations on my podcast, and it's all smushed together, and it looks fucking horrible, even to me. Now, I know that to most people, there's no context where a white person is ever allowed to say that word, never mind publicly on a podcast. And I agree with that now. I haven't said it in years, but for a long time, when I would bring that word up, if it would come up in conversation, instead of saying the N-word, I would just say the word. I thought as long as it was in context, people would understand what I was doing. That context was part of the clip we were talking about Red Fox, how Red Fox said that word on television in the 1970s.
Imagine he just said it again. How Red Fox would say beep all the time, and I just didn't see a problem with it. I don't understand. If Red Fox could say it, I'm darker than Red Fox. I'm half Sicilian. Can you imagine? But in this one, he doesn't seem nearly as distraught as he does with the Theo Von one, right? Which could tell you two things. It could tell you either there is some kind of whoa, Theo Von is very powerful and he understands that he can't do this type of thing to Theo. Someone has actually come to him and said, hey, the backlash on what you are saying about Theo is crazy and you need to correct this immediately. Because that's what happened with the N-word thing. This guy notoriously doesn't read comments, but somehow he saw this whole hit piece because someone came to him and said, hey, I've been your manager for 27 years. I'm not making that up either. Same manager forever. I've been your manager for 27 years. You got to correct this right away. I don't know. It's very weird. It's very, very weird. So there you have it. I mean, and I'll go the other side of things. You could look at it as Theo Von's very powerful. He understands he can't say that. Or you could look at it the apology that you saw with Theo Von was actually very sincere, and that's why he was breathing heavy and this and that. Or he's just stuck between a rock and a Middle East place, and the Middle East place is just you better not apologize. Don't you apologize. We must make Theo look crazy, And the other side's Theo, and he's just hey, man, someone hasn't treated me like this since my uncle back in the day. He used to skinny dip in the swamp. You should see him. And Joe's just I don't know who to pick. I don't know. And they're pick us, Joe. Joe, pick us. We will get you more Spotify deals. More Spotify deals. And Theo's just I couldn't get you a Spotify deal, but I know a guy who's willing to sell you a wooden leg. Used to grow up with him. He would sell wooden legs all day. I don't know how he got them. Little Theo Von bit for you guys there. That's the best Theo Von impression I could do right now. Is it 12 yet? Ooh, it is 12. Somebody tell me where this documentary is. You know what? I'll just message Project Constitution. Where is it? Oh, here's the link. Boom. I've never clicked on a link so fast. I shouldn't have done that. Let's check out this video, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what this is all about. But yeah, at the end of the day, Joe Rogan apology. Okay, fine, whatever. Candace thinks it's cool. I think it's odd. And I still am standing by the whole thing of that being like a temperature check and Theo failing that temperature check. And that's why all these people are now commenting on his mental health, because that's what they do to you when you step out of line. They make you, I know I shouldn't click links. I know. That's what they do to you. They make you seem like you are absolutely crazy. And they make you seem like there's a danger with you in general. Okay. I still stand by that. Anyway, let's jump over here. I'll show you the, I will show you the, where is it? Here, we got this. My whole computer just shuts down. Okay, so we have this. So I just want to show you this, just really quick, getting into it. Let me preface this for you guys quickly. Okay, check this out.
Hey guys, it's me, Colin, Project Constitution. If you aren't following my girl Z Cohen Sanchez and Unfuck America tour, be sure to do it, because tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific, they're releasing their bombshell documentary on Turning Point, which I promise you is going to be a doozy. Also, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, I sit down with them on a live stream and we discuss all their findings. You don't want to miss it. This just might be the end of Turning Point.
When I left Turning Point, I realized I just dragged all of these students into a burning building and then left and locked the door.
Hey guys, it's me, Colin, Project Constitution.
Okay. So we have that, and then we have Z from the UNF America tour, what she has to say about it, and then we're just going to jump right into it here. Just want to make sure, let me preface it properly.
Left national ground game. You've probably heard about us through the.
I got to censor that word, you know.
Tomorrow, that documentary is dropping, but I want to make sure that you are able to see it. So please make sure you go ahead and hit the follow button, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel right here. Waste, fraud, and abuse behind Turning Point USA is unbelievable. I honestly can't believe that Nick Shirley has not investigated this himself. And that's why I'm coming forward to do it for the left, because you guys deserve to know the truth. So remember, guys, that this work is not free. We have to be able to raise significant amount of money to be able to fight Turning Point USA and these establishment organizations on the right. So please go ahead and donate to us at nationalgroundgame.com. If you want to see us build more college chapters, go to more college campuses on our fall tour, and also
okay, where's the one where it says be ready, Erika Kirk? Okay, so this is the one where it says be ready, Erika Kirk. So they're like calling out Erika with this whole thing. This is supposed to be a big thing. Let's actually look into this right now. This is their YouTube channel. This is them actually showing it.
Were actually real. The other 5, I found out the previous field reps' family members had pretended to open up a chapter so that they could.
Someone says they don't trust this Z person. The vibes are off. Yeah, you always have to remember, right? Like, they've made it very clear they stand against Turning Point. I always like people to understand what they're seeing. So this is not someone who is completely in love with Turning Point and Charlie Kirk's movement, and now they've just figured some things out and they're just bringing you what they found, and they're just like in the middle. This is somebody who is on the opposing side of Turning Point, and this is what they've put together. So you should understand that as you watch this whole thing. And we'll skim through it. You know, I want to skim. You know, it's not that long, but still, we skim a little bit. But it is important to understand that. You know, I like to reveal my biases. I like to reveal the biases of the things that you're watching, because it's fine for people to be biased. Everybody has a bias, but it's important not to be blind to your side. Don't be so blind that you just allow your side to do terrible things, you know, kind of like an Officer Tatum or a Benny Johnson type of thing. You don't want to become like that, or a Trevor Noah type of thing. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's get into it.
There's chapters on campuses, and then the rest were legitimately fake contact information, bounced back, texts bounced, calls failed. Nobody is actually verifying the students' identities.
So just right away, they're saying nobody is verifying the students' identities, and I am assuming this is a actual member or a student that is telling them this. I guess because they've been on the inside. Again, we have to say that this is alleged. Somebody's asking where the glitter is. I don't know. I don't know where the glitter is, honestly. I kind of miss the glitter. I mean, the glitter at least used to make things pop, right?
Please welcome Turning Point USA CEO and Chair Erika Kirk.
Oh, I remember that. That was crazy.
Turning Point USA says it's building a movement of students, a movement of ideas, a movement that spans thousands of campuses across the United States.
The goal is for these clubs to be in every high school across the state.
In its own filings, the organization claims to operate more than 1,800 campus chapters and to be active on more than 3,000 high school and college campuses.
Great question. Start a Turning Point USA chapter.
It says its program reaches millions of students. And behind that movement is money. In a single year, Turning Point USA spent more than $20 million on what it calls its field program, the part of the organization responsible for building and supporting these chapters. Altogether, it raises more than $80 million annually. That money comes from donors who are told they're funding something very specific.
Oh, when does the music stop? Oh, you guys know how I feel about music. When does it stop? It goes through the whole thing? The whole thing is going to... The whole thing? Are you sure? Are you sure about this, guys? Oh, my God. You have no... It's like the biggest pet peeve I have. You have no idea. You have no idea. You know, I've been doing this a long time. And it's never changed. I've never flip-flopped on it. Music throughout videos sucks. It just does. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. You have a better time when there's no music, even if you don't realize it. Good Lord, what is happening? Yes, please hit the like.
A nationwide grassroots network of young people organizing, educating, and reshaping the future of American politics from the ground up.
Turning Point USA meets every other Thursday in room 312. Anybody's invited.
The story is simple. A bottom-up student movement built chapter by chapter, campus by campus.
Hey, put your hand up if you're in high school. Okay.
And it's not just a marketing story. These same claims appear in official tax filings, documents submitted to the federal government, where Turning Point USA describes itself as a nonpartisan educational nonprofit and certifies that it does not engage in political campaign activity.
Point Action and Turning Point USA.
This is the foundation of the organization. It's what justifies the money. It's what sustains the mission. It's what donors believe they are funding.
What they've done is put America right back on the right course.
But what if the numbers don't mean what they actually seem to mean? What if the chapter isn't what you think it is? What if the movement isn't actually there? We started asking a simple question, not about politics, not about ideology, just about reality. Are these chapters even real?
Hi, Elizabeth. This is Jessica. I'm the president at high school. You had reached out to Maggie, our director of student activities, and she forwarded us your email with some questions about having a Turning Point chapter on our campus. We do not currently host a Turning Point chapter on our campus, although I know it
Oh my God.
lists us on their website. But if you want to give us a call back to have further conversation, we absolutely can. You can call us.
So that's interesting. That's interesting. So somebody there is claiming, they're claiming that they are falsely used on their website as saying like there's a chapter at this school. Interesting. Very interesting. Now the next question is, what's a chapter?
Work of chapters spanning the country. Not even a way to click on the school. But in its IRS filings, the language becomes much more specific. The organization reports 1,873 charter chapters and activity on more than 3,300 campuses.
There are roughly 3,500 Turning Point chapters at colleges and high schools across the country.
At first glance, those numbers seem to reinforce the same story, but they describe two different things. A charter chapter suggests something defined, a group of students, a structure, some kind of ongoing presence on campus. But active on campus is much less clear.
Club America is now on 3,300 high schools in America.
It could mean a functioning student organization, or it could mean something much looser, a single.
Did he say through 3,300? Did he just say that? Am I tripping? Did he just say 3,300? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Did he actually say that? Am I tripping out? Hold on a second.
It could mean a functioning student
America.
It could
300 high schools in America.
That's clear.
Club America is now on 3,300 high schools in America.
It could mean a functioning student organization.
Oh, good golly, Miss Molly. This is another thing. That's just another thing where it's like, you know, the 33 hours and the 33 this, the 33 that. This is another 33 surrounding Charlie Kirk and his passing. That's wild.
Or it could mean something much looser, a single event, a student who signed up, a chapter that once existed but no longer does. And beyond that, the organization also refers to what it calls activism hubs, a category that's less clear still. The filings don't spell out how these different forms of presence are defined or how they're counted. And without a clear definition, the scale becomes harder to interpret. Because these categories overlap, or if they're applied inconsistently, then the total number may not reflect what people assume it reflects. Before looking at the map, before making any assumptions, we wanted to understand what those numbers actually represent. Not what they suggest, but what they mean in practice. And to understand how these numbers translate in practice, we turned to the organization's own directory. School by school, we began working through the list, reaching out to administrators, student activity offices, and faculty advisors. And we just asked one simple question: whether there was an active Turning Point chapter on their campus. Some schools confirmed that there was, student groups that met, organized, and operated as we would expect. But in other cases, the answers were less clear. Some described the clubs had gone inactive, others said the group had existed at one point but no longer did, and in some cases, administrators told us they had no affiliation with Turning Point USA at all. School, like, would you be able to let us know if it was ever a club that existed and maybe dissolved?
It has never. I do know for a fact it has never been a club on campus.
Gotcha.
72 schools. 7 said they had an active club. 31 said they had no chapter at all.
A student organization can come and go. Records can be incomplete. And a national organization may define its presence differently than the school does. But taken together, the responses begin to raise a broader question. How consistently is that presence being defined? And how closely do those listings reflect what's actually happening on the ground? Because if a chapter can be defined loosely, then how much does it take to actually create one? Could a chapter exist without a real presence on campus? Without the school even knowing? Could it exist in name only? And if that's the case, can 3 people in their 30s start a chapter at a high school that doesn't exist?
3 people in their 30s. That's interesting because you know something. I remember when this happened and nobody knew what was going on, right? But I remember the quartering being like, tell me what to do. I'll start a chapter right now. He kept like tagging Turning Point and saying that. And I was like, bro, aren't you like 40? You can't start a chapter. You can't start one of these things. What are you talking about? Like, are you even in school? Like, what? You have gray in your beard, bro. Like, we can't do that. That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is very weird. I'm like, there's no way you can start one. And he kept saying, he was like, I want to start one. Point me in the direction. What do I got to do? I was like, this is very weird. Very weird. You seem very old and you don't seem like you get very active much, sir. You know, I can say that now. I walk 14,000 steps a day. But yeah, this whole thing is very weird. This whole thing is very weird. I haven't even gone through the whole thing. But who is making these chapters? You know, here's the thing. You tell me that there's 3,300 chapters when Charlie passes. Oh, man. It's just another signal. So he passes away, right? Passes away in that thing that he passes away in. And then from that comes a 33-hour manhunt, right? And they keep harping on that. And then Andrew Colvett said something too, 33, when he was sitting down with the New York Times guy. And now what birthed from him passing is another 33 coming out of that. Very much a signal for an offering of sorts. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. People are saying chapters are a way to move money. I don't know. I don't know if they could be used to move money, because the chapters, from what I know, are not. You're not able. Like, what money is going into a chapter, really? It's a bunch of kids. I would imagine that the most money that comes into a chapter is to pay for like signage, you know, pens and whatnot. But then you think Turning Point would just send them that stuff, that they wouldn't actually give the chapter itself money. But then on the Turning Point side, I don't know the moving parts in regards to money, where, you know, like, do they have allocations for, like, okay, this is the money for the chapters? Is that how that happens? I don't actually know. I'll listen to a little bit more of this, just a little bit more. I'd rather watch the interview, because I think Project Constitution is actually going to interview her either today or tomorrow. This is Z person. This is Z character. Hopefully there's no music in that interview, for God's sakes. Okay, the former Wilkes County Training School was established in 1956, vacant since 2011. The building suffers from a lack of maintenance. Oh, don't tell me there's a chapter here. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. No. We received the chapter agreement, so we wanted. Oh, they took that vacant school and started a chapter. No. Yes, on our end, you are an official Turning Point Club America chapter. No. Oh, come on. Wow. Oh, come on. Where's Blake when you need him? Blake. This should be something Blake is handling, no? Am I wrong? This should definitely be something that Blake's handling. Maybe he is. I don't know. This is crazy. And I guess that makes sense. There's no way to verify. Someone said, well, that was too easy. Yeah. Wow. So, so when you say there's 3,300, I'm not saying this happened. But if you were these demented elite people and you had to get rid of someone, but you made sure to do it in some kind of ritual, you would just have someone make 3,300 things just for another signal. Oh, that's so gross. And again, you can't say all 3,300 are not real. There's some that are real. There are. Even they verified in this little thing that some are real, but it's way too easy to make the fake ones. Whew, you can't even. Oh, that's very weird. It's vacant, and they just made a chapter. And how could you verify? How could, like, that person, that guy who said that, they're in 3,300, how could you verify? The verification is just if it's made. Oh, this is like this type of stuff that Doge was looking into. That's what this is like. This is so wild. That's sad. Oh, man, this is Charlie's thing, man. That does suck. Because it's his thing. And at least he was on a speaking schedule where he would go and see the chapters. And he could, I can't say that he would check them all, because how could one person do it? You couldn't have one person do it. But when he would go to a chapter, it's because he had a relationship with the people who ran the chapter. He knew who they were. Man. And now it's just like they're doing something else. Phew. That's crazy. That's crazy. Damn. You build something just a Patrick Bet-David scheme. Come on, man. I was in the middle of having a somber moment here. That's a good one, though. Jeez. Yeah, that's a hoodwink. That's a hoodwink indeed. With dues go in? I don't know. I don't know if there's dues. So they just made one. Wow. In a vacant school. So how many are like that? Whew. All right.
It's ridiculous quotas. Like, you expect in 1 month for this one rep to start 40 chapters. So how are these reps supposed to do that? Well, they would give gift cards to the students if they started a chapter, but nothing would ever come of that chapter. So it'd just be one kid called the president.
You guys can't see it. I just did that because I know you guys miss Baron, and I just wanted to give you a little feeling like Baron was still here. So, just that's all that was. I did that on purpose.
Rep to start 40 chapters. So how are these reps supposed to do that? Well, they would give gift cards to the students if they started a chapter, but nothing would ever come of that chapter. So it'd just be one kid called the president and one kid called the vice president and then one kid called the secretary, and they got gift cards. You could have 50 chapters technically, but 3 of them hold events and like 10 people show up. And the others, they were given gift cards or they signed up and nothing ever happened.
You're just pushing us towards other clubs.
A name, a contact, a record that may or may not reflect what's actually happening on the ground. And when those different realities are counted together, they produce a single number. Ultimately, the question isn't just how many chapters there are, it's what those chapters represent, and whether the numbers being reported reflect a reality in schools across America, or something else entirely.
Our chapter leaders are amazing. And there's some leaders you guys have not even seen or heard about yet. But
That's an understatement, right? There's some leaders you haven't even seen or heard about yet. I mean, these leaders, they're like Delta. They're like ghosts. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to even find these leaders. I mean, there's just so many chapters and just, you have no idea where these leaders could be. These leaders could be anywhere. I don't even, some people might even say these leaders don't exist. I mean, that's how aloof these gentlemen are. You couldn't even find them if you wanted to. I mean, these are high skilled operators, these people. Some people might even say these people reside inside ChatGPT, inside the DALL-E program where you create images. Some people might even say that's where they're from. I don't know. They're hard to find. But when you find them, oh gosh, it's a gift. No, I'm kidding. That guy's eyes? Come on. Don't say that about his eyes. You know why his eyes are like that. Come on. Don't be like that.
you will one day, and you'll be blown away.
When I left Turning Point, I realized I just dragged all of these students into a burning building. And
So that's the part we heard at the beginning. Directed by and edited by JJ Watson. JJ, no music next time, man or lady. Just no music next time. Not necessary. It's a documentary. You don't have to have loud music throughout the whole thing. Things are more impactful when it's just words. Words are always more impactful in a documentary setting. Just putting it out there for you guys. Hit you guys with a like here. You got it to 2 pages as well. You don't want to really post things on 2 pages. That's not like a thing you want to do. On F America Tour, worst name possible. Because now it's the F word on the screen, right? So I have to move that so people can't see the F word on the screen. So shout out to you guys for doing this research, because this is wild. And let's be real. People on the other, like Nick Shirley's not going to find out about this. Nick Shirley's not going to look into this. He's definitely not going to be looking into anything of the sort when it comes to this. Benny Johnson's not going to find this. And I'll be quite honest, I wouldn't have found anything like this. There's no chance I would have found anything like this, right? I mean, I wouldn't be like Nick Shirley. I wouldn't be like posing with, Howard Lutnick after, he was discovered to be an island boy potentially, I know this is just a coincidence. This doesn't mean anything. Okay. But wouldn't quite be like him doing that. But nonetheless, I would not have found this. Wouldn't have been looking into it. Honestly, I mean, I have never even thought of the chapters being fake at all. I've never thought of that before. It's not a thought that's crossed my mind ever. This is a legit pick. This is natural and organic. Doesn't mean that he's like in cahoots with the administration or anything. That's not what it means. Oh, Howard posted this himself. It's time for the rampant fraud once and for all. Stop the rampant fraud once and for all. Thanks to Nick Shirley for exposing this issue and bringing it to the American people. Okay. If that was anyone else, we'd say it's an op, right? Okay. Doesn't matter. Funny. Oh, I crack me up. Anyway. So there's that, and there's going to be an interview. Hopefully they delve into it more. Please ask specifics about the fraudulent chapters, try to get specific information about the people that they spoke to, and try to find out how much fraud, and does it go past the chapters at all? And also try and find out if the chapters get any kind of funding, or if Turning Point itself gets any kind of allocation towards each chapter that pops up. Guide that interview a little bit there. Hopefully. Anyways, guys, we'll see what happens from there. I should just get into the supers, but I still got Officer Tatum and Tucker. Man. Still got Officer Tatum and Tucker. Yeah, I always do talk to text. I do. And listen, if you see me comment, I'm doing talk to text. Almost everything that's written, except for tweets, pretty much everything, I'm going talk to text every single time. I'm not. It's bad. It's getting bad. Yeah, I should. Tucker has an important thing to say, but Officer Tatum also has pretty important things to say, right? He's also been like real. He's really, really important. He is an important guy. Especially around here. Okay. Let's go to Tatum. I'm gonna go to Tucker after. Go to Tucker in a second. Would you ever believe Officer Tatum beats out Tucker? Now, this is Officer Tatum. He is talking about all the Trump haters, how we are all everybody is silenced because MAGA has defeated Thomas Massie. Let's get into it.
And the you that you hate to just hate everything, including President Trump. Listen.
Perfect. Perfect. He's jazzed up. He's jazzed up right now. Let's go. Love when he's jazzed up. Let's go.
The people don't want you idiots. You got clicks and subscribes and likes and views from radicalized people and bots. I go around the country and I talk to students everywhere and I ask them, what do you think about this side versus this side? Nobody's on the side of Tucker Carlson and them. None of them. I was in a crowd with like 200 people. One person raised their hand and said they agreed with Tucker Carlson. One person.
I was at, y'all gotta understand, I was at a whole crowd of people who came just to see me and talk to me, and I wouldn't be damned, not one of them agreed with Tucker Carlson. Large portion of them had small hats, but some of them had big hats. You understand? So I'm just saying the consensus of my crowd will tell you that no one supports Tucker Carlson. Mama, you like that Tucker Carlson, mama? Yes, baby, I do like what he be saying sometimes. Used to catch him on the Fox. I was so sad when he was offered a Fox. Mama, you can't be saying that about Tucker. Mama, come on. Oh, y'all ain't friends no more, baby? No, mama, we ain't friends no more. Well, then I guess I don't like this Tucker, but I have to say, you heard it here first. Mama don't like Tucker no more. Everyone who came to see me and agrees with me and what I have to say doesn't agree with Tucker Carlson. That's great. That's great what you just did there. Yeah, you really got it going there. Like what? Like what? Everyone who came to see you doesn't agree with Tucker Carlson. Wow. Haven't you accumulated an audience that's made up of just straight up evangelicals and Zio Rangers? And none of them agree with Tucker Carlson? Wow. Next, you're going to tell me they don't agree with Thomas Massie. What? Come on. Come on. Really? They don't like Thomas Massie either? Oh my gosh. Always breaking it down for us.
Most people are not agreeing with that crazy stuff y'all talking about. It's okay to say, I don't like what the Israeli government is doing. I don't agree with the war. That's fine to say that. But they got to go full retarded by saying, oh, they run America. They run all the media.
There's no joke. There's no joke that I can insert. I can't expand on it. I can't expand on it. He did it. He did it already. He did it already. He expanded. He already did it. I don't even. What can I say? Is he doing an impression of me? Doing an impression of him? Is that what he's done here? He's crafty. He's crafty. He's a crafty man. He's a crafty man. He got me. He got me. What can I say to that? You know, that's so funny. But I mean, you know, again, that's equating, you know, he's equating people with the gov. You know, you can't do that. You can't do that. Yeah, I don't know why. Well, I can't even say I don't know why he does that. I know why he does that, because that's the easy way. That's the low-hanging fruit to kind of discredit people and dismiss people, right? Who are actually asking valid questions about a gov and don't really care about a people. They care about this gov, you know? It's interesting. Interesting that he keeps doing this, you know? And yes, that face is wild, you know?
Babies. And then the Jews.
He's going crazy. He's going crazy. He's being sent into a crazy rant. It's nuts. This is what $7,000 will do to you guys. Allegedly, you know? He's going nuts. I'm telling you, those bottles that he has in the corner there, they're just getting lower and lower, those bottles. What's that bottle say? Verdict? I bet. Probably gets the verdict nightly. You know what I mean? Muppet energy. An Officer Tatum Muppet would be canceled immediately. If I had a Muppet, luckily I can do it just with my face and my own hands. If I had a Muppet, people would be like, cancel this man immediately. Immediately cancel this man. Absolutely cannot have this guy doing this with this Muppet. Just ridiculous. And he's like, again, this whole thing is just about Thomas Massie losing the election. That's what it's about. And he's bringing it to this place. So it's like, you're not even allowed to be upset that Thomas Massie lost. Or else you're a terrible, hateful person. It's like, come on, man. I want to do the same thing he's doing. Come on, man. What's the matter with this guy? Get a hold of yourself. Jeez. And you know something else? You know how I know there's something going on with this guy and how he operates? Is that he could go on a rant like that and nothing happens to him. If I went on a rant like that just now, even if I was in defense of people he was talking about, it'd be a big problem for my channel. And nothing happens to his channel. There's something to that. Candace doesn't even go on rants like that. I've not heard that word. I've not heard that J word said so many times in 14 seconds. Like what? And nothing happens to him. Every video, go, go, go. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. There's something so fugazi about all these guys, you know? What did Daisy say? What did Daisy say? Sergeant Shekels upgrading his studio and equipment with every new video. Like we can't tell what's going on. Sergeant Shekels. That's actually a cool nickname. That's a cool nickname, actually. Yeah, that's not a bad one.
Against Thomas Massie.
Again, this is what the video is about. This video is about Thomas Massie, man. Do you know how crazy that is? That he just took that rant and he put it onto a Thomas Massie video segment? Anyway.
I'll project that Ed Gallrein will win the Republican primary against Thomas Massie for the 4th Congressional District in Kentucky. And that is a seismic political decision made by voters in Kentucky tonight. Let's go straight to Jeff Zeleny. He's at Thomas Massie's headquarters. And Jeff, a very, very clear and strong defeat for Thomas Massie. I mean, what is happening there? This is being called, obviously, quite early.
Aaron, it certainly is. I mean, the polls have been closed less than 2 hours, and just a few moments ago, people began filling into the room. Now word has reached the supporters of Thomas Massie that he has fallen short to Ed Gallrein. Ed Gallrein is a farmer and a former Navy SEAL. He was a bit player in this race in many respects. President Trump made this a one-on-one contest between him and Congressman Thomas Massie, and the overwhelming amount of spending and money in this race was something that the likes of which no House primary has ever seen. So there's no question that Thomas Massie, who rose through the Tea Party era starting back in 2014, found himself in a very different Republican Party.
No, he didn't find himself in a different Republican Party. He became different.
No, it's a different party. It's different now. This is the weird thing. It's like you're watching. This is where this weird like gaslighting type thing goes. You're watching things become different. And then he's just like, no, it didn't become different. Like, yeah, it did. You became different. He's different. It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
You can't just obstruct. You can't do that and think that people are going to still support you. My God, you vote with the Democrats on all these different topics. People are going to begin to believe that you're an obstructionist. Wrote a clip.
I would have come out sooner, but I had to call my opponent and concede, and it took a while to find Ed Gallrein in Tel Aviv. I did get the call through, though. I have called and conceded the race. We've been honorable the whole time, and we're going to stay that way.
What Tel Aviv got to do with it?
This is Officer Tatum. So he might actually not know what that place has to do with it. He might actually not know. Okay. So you have to give him that grace. He may actually have no idea. He just might. He just might, guys. I'm just saying. He might actually have no clue what it has to do with anything, It's Officer Tatum we're talking about, He might be, Believe me, I'm not doing an impression of a scholar when I do that impression. Okay, guys, don't be confused. Don't be confused by how many times I say peruse and perceptualize. I'm not imitating a scholar when I do that. I'm just saying. Oh my gosh. And this is the narrative that's going to keep getting pushed. Right? Like this is the thing that keeps getting pushed. Like I have this guy here. I'll just show it, whatever. He's saying Philadelphia is the new Russia. Netanyahu is the new Putin. The JE files are the new Steele dossier. Once you see that foreign influence is a psyop is recycled play from the president's first term. You can't unsee it. Don't fall victim to the obvious disinformation campaign. That is the narrative. This guy's like one of the people that activate. He like filled in for Dan Bongino one time or a few times. That's the narrative that they're pushing as hard as possible. Actually, to say that the JE files are like the Steele dossier, which means to say that they're fake. To say they're actually pushing the narrative, and that's what he's trying to do right here. I'm not even going to let him get into it. They're trying to push the narrative that there's no foreign influence. Zero foreign influence. Just none at all. It's crazy. It's crazy what we're watching these guys do. Absolutely crazy. Officer Tatum, man. What's he going to say?
The people in Kentucky didn't want you there. Because of your decision making in the federal stage, in the U.S. Congress, they don't want you there. You are that little wench, what's her name, that quit a long time ago. I don't know. I like her husband. I like her fiance, man. So I'm gonna stop calling her crazy names. But I they quit. Trump is running us out of place. No, you weren't gonna win re-election because you guys fell off a cliff. All right, let's hear what our boy Scott Jennings had to say about it. I think he had a lot of great things to say that make a lot of sense. Roll it.
Yeah, I bet you think Scott had a lot of good things to say. It's just so wild. I don't know who the wench is that he's talking about. He sounds like my mom. My mom does that all the time. She'll be like, that person with the thing, you know who I'm talking about, man. I don't even like that person. I'll be like, Mom, I have no idea who you're talking about. That wench, you know which one I mean. Across the street that time, Mom, I have no idea what you're talking. My mom's excuse though is that she's 72 years old. I don't know what Officer Tatum's excuse is. Okay. I have no idea what his excuse is. I guess he means Marjorie Taylor Greene. I can't tell. I can't exactly tell. Does she have a fiance? Because I'm pretty sure she has. I thought she had a husband, right? So I'm not exactly sure who he's talking about. And the fact that he can't even say her name is like, okay, what's going on there? Are you not allowed to say her name anymore? Is that the marching orders? That you just keep on doing that? Because he's clearly a young man. He knows how to say her name. Even if he remembers it, he can still say it. Yeah, the air is too thin on that mountain of evidence. That mountain of evidence is just too high for him, I guess. Let's hear what Scott had to say. Let me guess. Scott's also going to push the narrative that there's no type of foreign interference whatsoever, and that this was just Trump's raw, girthy power in the Republican Party. Let me guess. Because it's sad because now Officer Tatum is in the position, and Scott and all these guys on the right, they're in the position where they have to do exactly what the left did during the previous administration. They have to do the exact same thing. They have to act like an issue that is glaringly something is something else completely. You know, Biden falls up a bunch of stairs, you know, and he starts saluting something that's just, he thinks it's a person, but it's actually just like a pile of clothes. And he's like, good to see you. What are you doing down there? All right. And they have to say, well, you're just doing this because you hate America. That's why you're doing that. You don't have a problem with him saluting that pile of clothes and speaking inaudibly. That's not your issue. You don't care about that. You just hate America. It's like you have to just do these dumb things. It looks so ridiculous, man. Jeez. What is this?
Much as he can, as quick as he can, as efficient as he can. And then when he's out of office, y'all can do other stuff. But we need people to be supporting him. The Democrats want to hate on everything Trump does. Why would we have a Republican in office that we could switch out for somebody that's going to actually promote the agenda? And it's not about Epstein.
This is crazy. They make these guys look like morons. This is so nuts. The things that they have to say, it makes them look ridiculous. He was just on stage at Charlie Kirk's orders. Charlie Kirk said to this guy that you see on the screen, go Max and talk about JE, talk about those documents, talk about that. And he said, okay, I'll do that for you, Charlie. And now he's saying it has nothing to do with it. The same guy who claimed that he might want justice more for Charlie Kirk than Charlie's wife and mother. Oh my gosh, these guys, it's so crazy. I gotta jump over to Tucker. This guy, oh my gosh. I had faith in you. I had faith in you, man. This Officer Tatum. I had faith in you. This is ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. I want to get into the last thing that Tucker said in this video. Because whoa, the heck just happened? He goes into these monologues now, and I really like it. So let's play this.
Going on. But maybe the most obvious example of what's going on happened last night. And it wasn't just the fact that Ed Galreen, or whatever the guy's name is, who even knows, who cares? As he won, somebody, and this was cruel, brought a video camera to his, quote, victory party. Now, remember, this is a guy who just beat a 7-term incumbent. And check the numbers on this. It's not that easy to beat an incumbent, a 7-term incumbent who is wildly popular, even by the standards of Republican states. Thomas Massie wasn't just popular, he was wildly popular in his district, and the election results over the past 7 terms prove that. Look him up. So this guy, Ed, whatever his name is, just wins, and his one campaign promise is to draft your son and send him to Iran, but he wins anyway. How did he win? Well, obviously people were just so thrilled by the idea of a draft that they just lifted Ed Galreen onto their shoulders and carried him across the finish line. And then they all streamed into the victory hall for beers and high fives and maybe some brats. You imagine that must have happened. People woke up one morning and realized their congressman, who we thought was honest and principled and decent, a family man whose 4 children love him, who built his own home, is the embodiment of the America you thought you lived in. This independent has self-respect and reverence for God and nature. That's what you thought of him. And you realize, no, he's like a liberal who's actually being supported by the jihadis, who's like some kind of sex criminal, because that's what they told you. We need Ed Galreen, the draft guy. And we're thrilled he got it. Well, let's take...
Just disrespectfully, just mispronouncing his name. You know, Galreen? Galreen is crazy. That's a crazy name. That's a crazy way to say it. Just so disrespectful. And he's right. The only thing that this guy talked about was bringing back the draft. Like in this little back and forth with Thomas Massie, the only thing he really talked about was bringing back the draft. That was it. That was what he was running on. And people in Kentucky were like, all right, show us the cliff to march off of.
Take a look. Let's take a peek at what Election HQ last night at Ed's victory party actually looked like.
That's crazy. There was just as many people in that room as Victor Marx had after he was done interviewing with Candace. That was crazy. There's nobody in there. That's weird. That's weird. It's almost like there's something off about that. What's Tucker getting at here?
Covered a lot of victory parties in my life, a lot, more than 10, and some lost parties too. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. There's no one there. What percentage of the people in that room know Ed Galroon or are related to him? Are his neighbors, were paid to be there? We don't know the answer. There's nobody there. So how'd this guy win? Well, he won on mail-in ballots. And we'll sort of leave it to online sleuths to determine whether that's legitimate or not. Who knows? Because if you're willing to pour tens of millions of dollars into a Republican primary in the 4th District of Kentucky, you're probably willing to do whatever it takes. And maybe they did. We don't know that. Not alleging it. But we do know that's not what democracy looks like. Democracy is the process by which people express their will, by which they say, this is how we want our country to be run because it's our country. It doesn't belong to Miriam Adelson or Paul Singer or Israel or Big Pharma for that matter, or any other small group of rich people. It's not the plaything of billionaires. That doesn't belong to the oligarchs. It belongs to us. And here's what we want. And you can't ignore us because we're the owners here. And this is a shareholders meeting and we're voting. And when people win in a race like this, there's evidence of it. And that evidence takes very familiar forms. Enthusiasm, joy, and just sheer numbers. Like people show up. They can't believe it. We beat the evil Thomas Massie with his jihadi backers. This is a blow against Islamic Jihad, whatever that is. Islamic Jihad, which along with Hamas is one of the big problems in the 4th District of Kentucky. They've been very, very concerned about Islamic Jihad and Hamas and Hezbollah for a long time in Covington. But anyway, there was no such display. And so it makes you wonder, this election itself, was it another part of the humiliation ritual? Was it a way of saying to the rest of us, people who sort of believed in democracy, it's all fake? We can get a guy whose last name we can't pronounce elected on a platform everybody in America hates because we can, because we're billionaires and you're not. And of course our priorities are not aligned with yours. In fact, we hate your priorities and we hate you. We're going to do this to you anyway. Even in Kentucky, we can do it. It's possible that's the message they were sending. Pretty certain, actually. So on one level, this is the saddest moment in a long time. It's not just the death of Thomas Massie's immediate political career, which may be resurrected, one never knows. It's obviously the death of MAGA, whatever that was. But it's also, of course, the end of the Republican Party, as we thought we knew it. The Republican Party of right now bears absolutely no resemblance to the Republican Party we thought we had just elected less than a year and a half ago. None at all. Its parties are completely different. Its slogans are completely different. It is not the same thing. And maybe there's a working majority somewhere of people who support the new priorities of the Republican Party, but the question would be, where is that? Haaretz readers clearly do. They think that was the most important race in America. Amazing that they were following it. But in this country, nobody supports this. Nobody does. And so that's not all bad. And it's not bad because the one thing we know is that nothing will be the same after this. This is too much. They went too far. This is a victory, but it's likely a Pyrrhic victory, actually. Because we now know, because it's been confirmed, how the system actually works. And no, it's not a democratic system. It bears no resemblance to a democratic system at all. A small number of people who are more concerned about a foreign country than our country decide who gets elected. No, that's not a hateful conspiracy theory. That's a demonstrable fact that they admit. So it's on the basis of that we can proceed. And by that, I mean the truth. That's the truth. What people whispered about, those crazies on the internet, has now been proven for everyone to see. Nothing will ever be the same again. And you got to think it's going to be a little better because there will be actual reform. We have gone too far. And so whatever comes next, whether it's in the Republican Party or outside it, is likely to be much more honest and direct and less ashamed. Much more willing to tell the truth, as uncomfortable as it may make some people, because the truth is always worth telling, always. And a politics based on anything but the truth is always poisonous. So yes, this is a low point. Is it the end point? Not at all. It's the beginning, maybe of something great.
And that's where he ends that monologue. I found that so interesting. You know, Tucker is a major part of the conservative machine, right? He has connections from agency, intel, to straight political, to Congress, Senate. He's been around a long time, most of his life in Washington, fathered, connected deeply to the agency. So when I hear him say, beginning of something great, and then I hear Rokana talking about this coalition that would welcome anybody who's feeling disillusioned with what's happening at the Republican Party right now. And then you see Massie doing this little, his farewell speech and everything and how he's handling it. He's going to be in Congress for, I think, 7 more months, by the way. It's not like he's just gone. So what happens from there? Don't know. What do things look like? Don't know. He can just start voting against Trump out of spite. He might. He usually just votes for what he thinks the American people need, but, he might start doing that. Might be pissed. I don't know. But it seems like something's forming, Just like I said, just like when I showed you guys this. Should I run for president in 2028 or 2032? Can't decide. I don't think all this is happenstance. I don't think it's all random. I think there is something happening. I think Tucker's right. And yes, he is a great speaker. He's a fantastic speaker. When he does those monologues, it's very presidential. It goes way beyond a journalist or a commentator. It goes way beyond that when he does those monologues. They're inspiring, So who knows what that thing is going to be that comes, but I think he's right. I think something great is going to happen because of it, because of all of it. So we'll see, though. We will see. Let me see. Does this moron talk about Tucker Carlson at all? Can you guess who I'm talking about? Can you guess? Guess who I'm talking about? Nah, he doesn't. He doesn't. He's a silly guy. So silly. And it's so funny because he's doing the exact same thing the left was doing, in the sense of he's constantly making it about the same way the left would constantly point at racism. He's constantly pointing at, the hate of those people. He's doing the exact same thing, linking every single thing that happens directly to that, no matter what. It's gross. I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it. Anyway, just really quick, the Daily Wire's CEO has stepped down. All right. He stepped down effective immediately amid reports of bankruptcy, allegedly. He thanks millions of audience members. He says, yes, millions. This guy's name was Caleb Robinson. Caleb Robinson steps down. This gentleman now steps in. Weird stuff going on at the Daily Wire. Former Jeopardy host Mike Richards has been named new CEO of the Daily Wire. Very, very weird stuff. This was the former CEO. I had no idea. I had no idea this was the former CEO. Shorter than Ben Shapiro? Do you know how crazy that is? A clear 4 inches shorter than Ben Shapiro? What? I was shocked. This guy makes Ben Shapiro look like a tall guy. Do you know how short you have to be to make Ben Shapiro look like a tall guy? This gentleman right here must be 1'6". This is crazy. I've never seen anything like this. Look at that. Look at that. Let me do the height. The top of your head meets Ben Shapiro's forehead? Wear heels. Wear heels, man. Well, what is this? This is crazy. I'm shocked. This disrupted my whole morning. This is 40% of why I was doing the show late today. 40%. Because I was like, hold on a second. This can't be right. Look at that. This guy makes Ben Shapiro look huge. What's going on with you, man? It's making Ben's shoulders look broad. I swear he looks like a normal sized guy. Am I tripping? He looks like a normal sized guy right there. Caleb Robinson steps down. Caleb Robinson. This guy's so small he has to step down from his own shoes, you know? You know what I mean? This is crazy. This is nuts. Friend of the show, Caleb Robinson. Anyway, I thought I'd just bring that in there just really quick, you know? But they're losing their CEO, which is weird. It's just very weird. CEOs are stepping down. Apparently they fired a bunch of people. How far did he have to step down? It was a regular step, but he had to jump and he had to brace his knees and everything. You know, it was just a regular step, but he jeez. Someone says he's crouched down. Yeah, Matt's he's standing on Matt Walsh. He's standing on Matt Walsh right now. Oh man, come on. Ben Shapiro, friend of the show, Ben Shapiro, does targeted ads on our show. So there you go. We're doing something right. You know? Shout out to Ben Shapiro, I guess. Oh, I just wanted to bring that to you guys real quick. Anyway, let's get into these supers quick. Coach, can I crochet a cat head hat for you? That would be nice and warm. That'd be nice and warm. I would like that. What kind of cat though? It would have to be like the same color scheme as what I got going on now. You know? Maybe. You can definitely. I heard a rumor Blake Neff, friend of the show, is kobold, German reptilian gnome / goblin creature. Really? I didn't know that. That explains so much though. So Mark is adding Circuit City to his resume. He's doing I don't know what's going on with Mr. Marx or Mr. Kennedy. I would roll with the name. If my last name was Kennedy, I'd roll with Kennedy all day. What are we talking about here? Are you kidding me? That'd be the best name to roll with. You're gonna go with Marx? Do your research, man. What are you, crazy? And you want to be in politics one day? You go Kennedy. Are you out of your mind? Come on. Watermelons are delicious. You see where Zach read a statement from Corby yesterday. It's early in the program, worth pulling up. I would like to see that. I'll look into that. I actually had Corby message me himself. I forget what he was saying here. Leslie is skinny. Yeah, it's something that I have to look into here, but somebody's saying something. Apparently this Corey person is turncoating on Candace or something like that. I'll have to look into it later on. Something's going on there. But Zach got that shout out. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. Zach, I mean, it was because he sent a super chat, but still, you know, Candace did say she watches the show, which was really cool to see. She said hello to Zach Costello and agreed with Zach Costello. It was pretty cool. Danny SOS just X'd you, found a long lost photo of Uncle Pastor Vic Marxies. Really? This must have been a while ago. So many people tag me in things as I'm going through the episode. Who let me see here. Is this it? No. Oh, no, it's not. The used car salesman? Is that who you're talking about? That must be it. Oh, cathead guy in Lance. These are such dumb pictures. These are such dumb pictures. Here, let me grab these really quick. Where are the bookmarks at? I mean, this one is just uncalled for. This is uncalled for here, you know. Completely uncalled for, you know. Lance and the cathead man, Victor. Then somebody else is saying this one. That's so funny. Victor's used cars. See, someone had to have made that. That can't be real, can it? Can it? I can dream. Thank you very much. V Mark's eyes. No black. Nunca. No black. Nunca. I know evil, man. I know evil. I pastor. No, it's different. My eye is black. No. It's good. It's good. It's God. My eyes go black. It's because of Jesus. It's because of Jesus. When my eye go black, it's good, Poppy. It's good, Poppy. No, it's not. It's evil when your eyes go black. What is this? Borar voice. My eyes are black. Who is Borar? Are you saying my eyes black? Borat voice. That's what I thought. Okay, there you go. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, this guy might mean Borat. My eyes black. My eyes is black. Let's keep going here. Of course, Erika knew best what Charlie wanted and was put in position. Look at the outcome, which is proof. What? She does the opposite of what Charlie was standing for, especially in the last weeks. Yeah, the not supporting Massie thing was pretty wild. Yeah, I found that to be pretty wild. Even Tim Pool was like, he was sad that Massie got voted out because he was like, Charlie really liked this guy. Like Tim Pool is saying the things that like Andrew Colvett should be saying. Jennifer Miller, people can list 501c3s as beneficiaries too. Interesting. I didn't know that. Any advice on quitting trees and nicotine? Greetings from the Space Coast, Florida Rican. Quitting trees and nicotine. Oh man. Well, I wouldn't advise the way I quit smoking cigarettes. I quit smoking cigarettes because of this stuff. But you can. It feels like it's not possible, but you can just not smoke. I know it's a weird thing because I've had the addiction myself, but you can just stop. It is possible, especially when you start. Is his name Alan Carr? There's a guy who has a book. I think it's Alan Carr. He has this great book on quitting smoking, and he goes through the psychology of what people think smoking is who are addicted to smoking, and what it actually does to you. Alan Carr's Easy Way. Let me see if this is the same guy. I don't know if this is the same dude. Here, there's an Amazon book here. Let me see if this is the book. I remember just watching the videos on YouTube and being like, it's not even showing the book. Ah, man. But there's a guy, his name's Alan Carr, and he has this really interesting take on smoking. And he goes through the psychology and he breaks it all down. There's a YouTube video of it. If you put Alan Carr, how to quit smoking, there's a really interesting breakdown on it. When it comes to trees, green, what I did was I turned to God and I prayed. But then also, the part that also came to be was I had tried to quit before so many times and I couldn't. And what I did was, and this is because of my wife's like, how about instead of you just thinking of like never smoking again, how about you just go for as long as you can, and if you break, it's fine, and then just stop again. She's like, maybe put some kind of finish line on it. So like the first time I went without smoking, it was like for 4 days or something, or it was like 3 days. And I was like, okay, I did 3 days. And she's like, okay, now do another 3 days. And I did another 3 days. And then I'd be like, okay, I think this time I can go 5 days. And then I went 5 days. And then I remember I got to a week, and I got to a week again. And then I got to 2 weeks. And then it was October 23rd. And I remember I smoked and I was like, I think this is the never again. I'm like, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I think this is it. Like, I don't need to do this. And I had just done it. I don't know. That was the method that I used. But also I was very deep in prayer. It was the first time I was praying. I was in a Christian men's group. I was around people that weren't doing that type of thing. Your surroundings have a lot to do with it. If you're going to be around people who smoke all the time, well, it's going to be really hard, and you're probably just going to fall back into it, So you really got to change up who you're around. You really have to. It's hard, but there's some people you're going to have to not see. for a minute if they smoke every day and you don't want to, you know. Same thing with cigarettes. You got to let those people go. If you want to do things you've never done before, you have to if you want to have things you've never had before, you have to do things you've never done before. So think about it. Try not smoking for a while. See what happens. See how you feel. Right? Don't just think about the times where you're jonesing and you want it. Think about the times where you have like these elevated energy levels and you feel clear-headed. Like, think about those as well. A lot of times when we don't smoke, we always think of the jonesing part of it where we really want something, but we rarely think of the times where we're like, wow, like I'm not smoking and I feel better and I'm breathing good. And try and focus on those times and see what happens. But let me know how it goes. Start now too. Don't start in like 2 weeks. Start now. Figure out how you can not do it for the rest of your life. And how long have you been smoking? One thing in my psychology that I had in my head was like, I have tried smoking as a means of escape in dealing with life since I was 10 years old. And I'm now 30. I think I was like 35, 36 years old. I'm like, I think I've tried this long enough. It's not working. It doesn't work. It's clearly not working. And I'm clearly addicted and it clearly sucks. And it's making life worse. So why don't I just try it the other way for a while? And I did. And, you know, it's been immensely better. So list on office desks, sleeping in daughter's room. Yeah, right. Yeah. When you're talking about the whole divorce thing. Yeah, right. Yeah, it makes you think. What's going on? Maybe there was something going on. Maybe he was going through some life changes. But then again, why bring her? Maybe it was kind of a thing. I don't know. Because you could say maybe it was a thing where he was just like, listen, you know, this is where we're at. And let's be civil about this. We're going to go in. I'm going to change over the things in my will. You know, you have yours as well. I'd like to change that over too. I don't want to be connected to it. You know, we'll just do it for our kids and that's it. And she was like, okay. And then he just didn't make it to that Monday. I don't know. It's hard. Coach, you crack me up. Coach Coulooms. Just say Julie. Thank you so much. Yeah, Coach Coulooms. Thank you so much for that. Lobotomy scars. Anyone know their closely named opposites? Anyone else know their closely named opposites? What does that mean? What do you mean they're closely named opposites? What are you talking about? What does that mean? I always have to go to the chat when I see things like that. So I'm like, for some reason, the chat's just way smarter than I am. They catch on to things like right away. I don't know what that means. Uncommon tax law is what Jeffrey specialized in, if I remember correctly. Interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, here, let's keep going here. You have forever changed how I look, how I hear kids in public say mama. Thank you so much. Go down to Dallas, Fort Worth. You'll hear it exactly the way I'm doing it. Tiny Dancer, as a token of appreciation to Coach, making us smile every morning, let's give as much or as little as we can with coffee app or super chat. Thanks so much, Tiny Dancer. Appreciate you. Watermelons are delicious. If his name is made up, how is his dad Karl Marx, or did I miss something? Vaughn Kennedy. Well, no. Marx, Karl, would be his stepdad. I'm pretty sure his stepdad is Marx. And then I guess there's a real dad that he doesn't talk about, or maybe wanted nothing to do with him, kind of thing. And it's Karl with a K. Like, it's exactly the same as the Karl Marx that we all know. Coach, you legit help me get through rough days with a laugh. I know you go through things too, yet you always show up strong for us. You and your family are always in our thoughts and prayers. Crisis King. Thank you so much, Fire Luna. Holy Fire Luna. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. I try. Can 3 people in their 30s start a chapter? Yeah, 3 people in their 30s can start a chapter. In fact, they can start 33 chapters if they feel like it on the 3rd of every 3rd week of the month. Yeah. Crazy. On the 3rd day of every 3rd week of the month. Crazy. Can you create a PO box or UPS mailbox? Can you flash it on the screen or put it in your bio for those that keep asking? Wow, what are you guys gonna send me? I find it so, it's very nice, but I always find it odd when people want to send me stuff. Like, what could you possibly want to send me? You know, I'm like, that's so interesting. You're gonna send me stuff. What are you gonna send me? What do you got? What do you got? I don't know. Just say Julie. Turning Point USA. Most transparent chapters. Literally. Allegedly, maybe, perhaps. Yeah. Most transparent, right? It's crazy that they started one with it. That has to be addressed now because they made sure to go online and show themselves starting this chapter. It's on the list of chapters and it's an abandoned, just decrepit school that there's nobody there. It's not really in existence anymore. That's crazy. Andrew or Blake, someone has to address that because that's crazy. Stacy Noble, Erika said, and you'll be blown away. Puts new meaning to that catchphrase, like quite literally. Like, oh no, come on. It's a good joke. Come on. The idea of you and Baron talk to texting each other is so funny to me. Punctuation and all. Oh, does he do it too? That's hilarious. That is hilarious. If he does that too, I had no idea. I had no idea he does that too. Yeah, I guess that's what we're doing when we talk. We talked just the other day. Yeah, I guess that's what we're doing. Sergeant Shekels, new studio, new equipment, like every video. Like we can't tell what's going on. Yeah, it's so true. He really upgraded stuff. He really upgraded a whole bunch of stuff. You know, has the alcohol bottles sitting next to him now. Weird stuff. You know, he's getting his Michael Knowles on. You know, he's trying to revamp things into a more Michael Knowles feel. You know, we need a house mega. Oh, with Officer Tatum's face. Can't do that. Can't do that. Can't show his face. One thing that I forgot. I don't know how I'll be able to find it. One thing that I forgot that Candace did was the most wild part of the podcast. I have to go back to this. I don't know how I'm going to find it. Oh, the Hunter Biden podcast is going to come out soon, man. It's coming out soon. I have to find this. I forget who she said it about. You're one for the house. That's what I have to find that. She called someone a house N-word. That's why you just reminded me of that. She called I don't know. I forget who it was. She called somebody a house N-word. And I was like, excuse me? It was the most what? She said, okay, let's just put house. I'll find house. It's near the bottom. I know it's near the end of the podcast. She says something about house. It's gonna go up. Yeah, there it is. Who's she talking about? We'll go right up to here. Just
automatically, right? Just like, I was a man, I'm just gonna pass away, testosterone deficiency or something. That's if I was Ed Galbraith, that's what I would expect. But I guess we live in a different generation. People are pansies and people are like, money. Yay. I'm just gonna do what I can to get rich and vote how they tell me to vote. Yeah, you're a slave too, Ed. So you just think you're one in the house. That's all that is.
She called Ed Galbraith a house N-word. A house mega. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That was hilarious. When I saw her say that, I was like, what did she? I had to rewind. I said, what did she just say? That was the most polite way of calling someone a house nigga I have ever seen in my life. I've never seen someone say that so politely. So politely. You're just one in the house. Oh, I forgot about that. I was like, oh, I got to talk about this. I completely forgot about this. That was one of the highlights of the podcast for me. You're just one in the house. The way she said it. Oh my gosh. Crazy. She is funny. She is funny. You're just one in the house. Officer Tatum, Officer Tatum, friend of the show. Officer Tatum, one in the house. So you call Officer Tatum from now on. One in the house. Officer Tatum, notoriously one in the house. Holy, okay. Hey, Coach, what will be the next? What will be the excuse when Dems win over Republicans in November? Ugh, I don't know. Will it be the people didn't want them? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea what excuse they'll use. I mean, there might be something terrible that happens. I don't know. I don't know, but they can't keep going this way. That's why I think, when Tucker talks about something great happening, I think there might be something on the rise, always be true. Andrew is maybe a master PR person after all. He set up the FedSlop narrative in the text exchange with Charlie Kirk. With Candace Owens. Shot for sure. Neck area. Was CK? Yeah, he was. He died. I don't know if you heard. He passed away. Yeah, he passed away that day. It was September 10th, actually. I don't know if you heard that. Yeah, he passed away because he got shot. I don't know. Sorry. I should have explained that at the beginning of the episode. He passed away, sadly, after sustaining an injury to his neck. It was pretty gruesome. I'm sorry. No one told you that. That actually did happen. But Andrew did sound kind of cold in that exchange. He was just like, but at the same time, it's like you can't. He's not. If you're not doing voice to text, you might be shaking and this and that. I don't know, but he did sound kind of cold in that exchange. He's just like, not sure, shot for sure, head and neck area, and like that's it. It was pretty cold to respond like that, especially to Candace. But they did end up talking on the phone that same day. So every time my toddler says, "Mama," I hear you in my head, and I say it out loud like you. My husband and kids look at me like I'm crazy. I do all the chores listening to you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is good. That is good. Thanks, Zamet. You're asking why not judo? Well, because why don't you think? Blue Lioness. I have not missed even a min of your show for about 6 months. You are getting me through a really hard time in life. Thank you. You abandoned me on the weekend and sick, but I forgive you. LOL. You are a legend, Coach. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate the barren timestamps as well. Thank you so much when you send those over to me. Do appreciate it very, very much. You're a great help there. Just started shooting timestamps at me. It was out of nowhere. It was like Baron show. Bang, bang, bang. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Shout out to that. So definitely Blue Lioness, a part of the high IQ outfit, 100%. Miss Chris Viz, hit the like, siempre. We are not even at 50%. I mean, it's hard to get 50%. Likes are usually like 10%. Isn't that crazy? 10% of the people that watch usually like that's a solid. If you have 10%, that's solid. That's actually really good. If you have 20%, that's like astounding. It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. If you have 100%, your video will probably go to 1 million views. because YouTube will just be like, oh my gosh, we got to show this to everybody. We have to show this to 30 million people right now, and your video will probably get 1 million views. The Lily Rab connection, EK and CK could have been mediating out of courts. Yeah, see, that's what I was suggesting. Maybe they're being civil. Better PR would explain going to the office together for the will. Made a meme for you on X. Lily Rab tagged you. That makes a lot of sense. That they could just be trying to be civil about it. That could have been it. That really could have been it. Coach, Coach, talk Barron into getting a PO box. His commenters send him merch or homemade items. Someone sent King Barron a crown, cape, and scepter. What? What? What are you talking about? That's so funny. Sway Diesel. I would love to see him wearing that. That'd be incredible. Sway Diesel. I thought he was a mountain mega. In-house slippers, of course. That is so funny. That is so funny. The hey mega thing is crazy. I can't believe it. You know, we got to use that more. We got to use that way more. Way more. I'm going to up it. You'll see. You'll see. You got to make merch out of that one. That's like the biggest merch idea, I think. I think that's the one, because that needs to spread everywhere. There's so many of us that need a little bit of an outlet to express how we feel about certain folks, and I think that would just be that just hits it out of the park. That just hits it out of the park, man. You need that one. Really need that one. I actually have to show it to you guys for you guys to see it, I guess that's how that works. I have no idea what impression of gangster George Farmer I could do right now. I have no ideas. I can't think of any movies. I can't think of any movie. If I could think of a gangster movie, then I could do something, you know? I can't think of anything though. You're putting me on the spot here, you know? Like I don't know. I don't know how to what could I do, you know? Like I'll put the steel straight to your head. Mate. Officer Tatum, him calling up Officer Tatum. You know my wife loves you. He's loved you for a long time, right? Really cares about you, right? Really cares about you. But guess what? I don't. I knew you as a house mega from time. I've always known that about you. Brandon. It's Brandon, isn't it? Officer. Not on my watch. You know what I mean? Just beats him up. Put me on the spot. I don't know what to say about. Oh, George Farmer just getting into all sorts of hijinks in the streets of Tennessee, you know, going wild. Laura, you know, Jigsaw Loomer hasn't been really looming lately. It's very interesting. You know, I noticed these people, when they go hard on the Candace attacks, they just all of a sudden stop. Just out of nowhere. It just evaporates. It's very weird. Yeah, went really, really hard, and then all of a sudden, done. Gone. Michael Jackson's son, they don't really care about okay. Yeah. I know what he says in the song, okay? I 100% know what he says in the song. I'm not reading a whole Michael Jackson song. There's no chance I'm doing that. I know they listen to the song, they don't care about us, guys. Come on, you can't do that to me. A whole song, a whole verse, come on. Victoria Tucker, I love your show. You're hilarious. I'm wondering if Victor Marx was talking about Pastor Rob McCoy when he said, I have a friend who's been shot. Yes. Pastor Rob McCoy. That would make a lot of sense. If not, then it's like there's so many people who knew each other, who were connected to Charlie, who were connected to security and to military. There's just too many. It's too much. You always make me laugh. I have to have my 3 C's, Coach, Candace, Coach, and Coleman. By the way, where's Barron? Barron's on vacation. He announced it. Well, I guess if you don't have X, I don't know. I guess you wouldn't see it. He's chilling. he and Daisy are chilling right now. I think they're coming back Friday. If not Friday, they come back Sunday. And you'll be able to see him then. Don't worry, nobody got to him. He's just fine. Liz, amazing breakdowns all week. Thanks, Coach. Thank you so much. The Aspen retreat, where Charlie Kirk said he appointed Erika, only had 200 donors. When you listen to him speak, the echoes make it sound like a much bigger room. Where was the meeting? How big was the room? No, that's what I mean. If it was in Aspen, then it would be in a small room. You know, you can't see the size of this room, but it would be like, you know, a room where you'd have a bunch of people. It wouldn't be a big place. So that's a good catch, because it does sound like he's giving a speech. In each one of those little shards of him talking, it sounds like he's giving a speech. It sounds like he's joking. It sounds like he's sitting down in a town hall type of setting. That's it. It doesn't sound like he's just sitting there talking to a few people in a room. Not at all. And you wouldn't give it that echo. That wouldn't make any sense to do. MJ Love A's. You are awesome. Love your show. Didn't Tyler Boyer get demoted as COO or something a few months before in reference to the end of life changes? Remember the whole picture in his office that was missing when Erika and Mikey were each filmed in his home office? Perhaps, maybe it's because Charlie and her were separating. Yeah, that's what it's you know, I've talked about it throughout the episode. It's definitely a possibility. And Tyler, from what I know, Tyler did get demoted. I think that's why Justin came in. I think actually, I don't know. Justin came in for the finance stuff. I think Justin came in as CFO, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if Tyler actually got demoted. Huh. But yeah, it seemed like he was cutting the grass. That's what it seemed like, you know? It seemed like he was cutting the grass to figure things out. Summer Breeze. Coach, you have me cracking up over here in my cubicle. Oh man. I think Victor Marx was trying to have a moment during that 10-second pause. LOL, which honestly felt a bit manipulative. I watched it live, initially thought it was a glitch, and I think Candace did too, since she repeated the question. But when I replayed it, he clearly looks up to his left and starts getting choked up while recalling everything. It felt pretty performative. It definitely was. I shouldn't say definitely. I don't know the guy, but it felt that way to me too. And I couldn't help but wonder if that's where Erika gets her acting tips from. He honestly gives me the creeps. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows where she does? Oh, a whole dissertation. Oh my gosh, Summer Breeze. A whole dissertation? All right. You doing a whole breakdown of my whole breakdown? Come on. It's Inception here. Also, I originally thought if someone had the power of attorney, both parties had to be present to remove it. Ah, okay. I didn't know that. I don't know about that whole thing. I should know about that thing because I should be doing this type of stuff, but I don't know about that. But that's not the case. Okay. From what I've learned, both parties are typically only required when it comes to something like a joint trust or something in shared arrangements. Okay. I did not know that. That's interesting. Okay. The more these people talk, the more they reveal. It really seems driven by ego and entitlement. And when you're led by those things, you miss the bigger picture and leave plenty of room for mistakes, which in this case seems to be benefiting Candace in her investigation. P.S. After watching the Rogan apology video in its entirety, I felt better about his apology. He even says that he didn't even have the whole context of what was actually said at Theo's Netflix show. No, he did have the whole context. He had the whole context. He did not say the whole context when he was talking to that other person, but he definitely had the whole context because I've played the clip on the show. Jeez, kids are going nuts. I gotta get out of here and help my wife. But yeah, he had the full context. He didn't share the full context. He also didn't go as deep into the full context of saying, you know how it feels. This is what I brought up. I'm like, these guys know what it feels like to bomb, and they know what it's like to be. They know what it's like to be someone. Wow, both kids are crying at the same time. Jeez. Okay, I gotta get out there. I'm sure she'll handle it. Jeez. Oh man. That's tough. That's tough. Okay. I love you, honey. If you can hear me, I love you. But they also didn't talk about the whole thing of how it feels to bomb as a comedian. Like, he had full context when he saw that clip. He understood. He understood completely what was going on. He knew what was going on. Someone says something like that, they're a comedian, they're clearly joking. Netflix is speaking of Theo, having explained it make more sense. Still should have never spoke about it the way he did, but do feel he is feeling bad about it. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, it could seem that way. You know, a lot of people feel like it looks insincere. A lot of people feel like it looks sincere. Candace thought it was really cool. So, I mean, you can look at the way you feel about him is the way that you're going to see that whole thing, you know? Hi from London, Coach. From London, you say. Just want to let you know your podcast really keeps me going. Having a bit of a rough time at the moment, but there's nothing I love more than to watch Candace, then rewatch it with you the next day. Keeps a smile on my face, isn't it? You are so funny. Christ is king. Pip, pip, cheerio. That's what it says at the end. You guys really say that, right? That's a real thing. No, I'm not making that up, right? Or is that a Monty Python thing? Hey, Coach, I've been a long time listener to the Joe Rogan podcast, and something felt off to me recently. For years, there was virtually no candid photos of him or his family circulating online. But over the past year, the paparazzi shots have started appearing. Oh, I didn't know that, including images from what to appear to be private family vacations. Yeah, I saw something where they were on a yacht. Actually, you're right. Yeah, I saw something on a yacht. On top of that, he seems to be noticeably guarded whenever Philadelphia comes up in a conversation. It makes me wonder, has he been pressured in some way that's affecting his content or his public profile? There's I did a video, like, when that guy guessed his ATM pin, I was like, that was like a warning. That was like a, hey, like, we can have your ATM pin and we can do what we have to do. I thought that was like a warning, but who knows what he sees on the guy's one of the most powerful podcasters that's ever existed. And on top of that, he knows all these people in the administration, in intel, in the military. Like, I can only imagine the conversations. If there's never been a conversation where someone's come to him and pressured him about something, I would be shocked. I would be shocked. Whoa. Baby's going nuts. Hold on a second. You gotta go. I'm still streaming. Yeah. I just want to see what's going on. I'm pounding the ground. No, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. Wow. That was crazy. She's going nuts. Wow. Jeez. Just screaming like that. I had to bring the baby up the stairs because she would not listen to my wife. My wife can't pick her up right now. She's still recovering from the C-section. Jeez, that was crazy. Such a different atmosphere once you go through the store. Baby's just going nuts. She needs to go to sleep. Edible glitter, what's going on? The Daily Mail video over Zoom is just Erika's crazy eyes staring directly into the guy's soul, with demonic voices chanting around the guys like, yeah, this checks out. Get me the F out of here. I close the video. Why does it keep going? Why does it keep going on? Help me, Jesus. You need to get an exorcism on your computer, sir. Oh, man. All right, let's keep going here. Tiny Dancer, thank you so much for making me smile every morning. Thank you. Funky Monkey, my husband's listening to your white guy voice, white guy versus black guy impressions, and says, is that guy black? Okay, he's allowed. He's allowed to do that. That's so funny. I actually like Mama Tatum more than I like Brandon at this point. Every time you do the voice, it reminds me of the faceless black woman from Tom and Jerry. Ha! Wow, I didn't even think of that. It would be in that era, you know. Tamara and Sebi, we start every morning with Coach and coffee. Love your sense of humor, especially Officer Tatum. What happened to Fleet? Holy moly. Maybe that's for the member show or not worth talking about. Well, I mean, the channel got deleted. That's what happened. And then there was some wild things I saw seen written about Daisy and whatnot. I mean, you have to go on X. Again, this is one of the things you have to be on X to really see, because a lot of things rolled out on X. So pretty wild. Alpaca Renee, Coach, the fact that they made the beneficiary of the life insurance the CEO of Turning Point, whoever held that title, is exactly why Erika had to be named CEO immediately. Love to you and your family. Yeah, that's what it seems like. That's what Dax was saying. Or Dax, I keep saying Dax. That's what Danks was saying. That's what Danks was saying. Danks was pretty solid on that theory. You know, I only showed you like maybe 5 minutes of that video. I think it's like a 20 to 30 minute video. So it's definitely worth checking out. I heard the craziest thing yesterday while watching your live, and I'm wondering if anybody else heard it. I was walking away from my phone and I don't know what kind of ad it was. It sounded like an AI, but it was talking about how the phone is addictive, comparing it to substance. Then at the end, I heard you can't even get off your phone if you effing wanted to. I was so shocked. It actually cussed. I went back to check my phone, but it was gone. Wow. I listen every morning with my coffee before I homeschool my kids. Love your takes and your humor. Cheers. That's wild. I myself have never heard that. I've had YouTube Premium since YouTube Premium was available. So I have not really heard an ad before. Quite honestly, YouTube Premium has been around for a long time. The fact that they have AI ads swearing at you is wild. Was it an ad? Did you get your coffee in before you heard this thing? Were you just waking up? You know, maybe you're half in the dream state or something like that. Libby K, love your YouTube content, Coach. Funny and uplifting. I have to ask for prayer for my dad. He just had an aneurysm. I think that's how you say that word. The doctors aren't optimistic. Blessings and much love from CT Crisis King. Crisis King, indeed. Well, prayers to your dad. Prayers to your dad that he experiences healing, superhuman healing, and that he is comforted, that he's peaceful, and that you also are comforted and peaceful. You know, a lot of people will always ask for prayers for someone when they're going through things, but they'll never ask for prayers for themselves. That is part of it. You know, you definitely need that comfort yourself as well. So yeah, I hope everything goes good, goes okay. I know you're saying they're not optimistic, but you know, you also said Christ is king. So yeah, worry more about that than what they have to say, you know, within reason. Still trying to obtain a P.O. box address to send you some gifts. One is something you mentioned on air and will love. Is this the wrong way to get that info? I'm poor and this method is running real. Well, I mean, you could always message me on X. You know who I am. You can message me on X. Salute to you, Prince Colin from Chi-Town. Roger Park. Wait, what? I thought this said Chi-Town. Is this supposed to say Chi-Town? Or does this say, is this Chi-Tuan? Chi-Tuan? I don't know. It's either Chicago or Chi-Tuan. Rogers Park, you should check out a seminar with Ian R. Crane on YouTube, Human Programming, Other than that, keep up the great work. Enjoy them seeds of yours because they grow fast. Be safe, Crisis King. Hit the like, guys. That would be much appreciated. Please hit the like button. Let's keep going here. Just say Julie. Did I read this one already? Hey, coach. I've missed the last few lives. Busy with patience, but sending some love and good measure to you and yours. Also, I had a hard time watching the interview with Victor. ESP when he kept especially I said ESP. I was thinking you're talking about something psychic. Especially when he kept trying to take over. Candace handled it like a champ. Crisis King, go Max. Yes, Crisis King indeed. And yes, she did handle it really well. Like I said before, you got to have those boundaries up, and she did an incredible job at those boundaries. Someone keep it up, coach. You cracked me up. Keep me in the loop. Thank you very much. I just love you. Can't wait to watch you every day. You keep me posted on anything I missed, and you absolutely crack me up. Such a lift for me when I feel bummed about all that is happening. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And yeah, that's what we're here to do. We need a nerd investigation. We need a nerd to investigate the public figures Victor Marx has given a retooling to. Yeah, that would be something too. If he would give us a list, get those people some help. DD214 forms are not public information. Yeah, that's true too. I remember learning that during the whole Mitch Snow thing, that only either the serviceman could get access to it, the serviceman's family, if the serviceman is deceased, can get access to it, and the serviceman can give it to somebody so they can read it. That's my understanding. It's not public information. I wish Candace knew that. The normal tour of duty is 4 years. My wife was saying that yesterday. She's like, you enlist for 4. So she's like, if it was 3 or 2 years and, 11 months and 14 days, then something clearly happened. If he got out early, there was a reason, usually not good, but it would be on his discharge paperwork that he's telling her to find, which is not publicly available. Mega, please. Yeah, good point. Really good point. Yeah, we were just talking about that with the Mitch Snow stuff. You can't just get access to it. And the reason people had access to Mitch Snow's and they were acting like they were doing some high level investigating, Gary, is because Mitch Snow was offering it up. And then other people were saying they just had access to it. And we were like, there was a question of someone who was like, oh, I have his DD. And it's like, how do you just have it? Like somebody was saying, somebody else messaged, I remember it was a super chat. They're like, if this person has access to it and it wasn't given to them through Mitch Snow, then they've done something illegal. And I just remember that being mentioned. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So, but I know Mitch Snow. I think Mitch Snow gave it over to Gary because he was like, look me up. He's like, I don't care. Looked up weird image. This is an AI. What the AI gave me showed photos that did look very similar. The image on the screen depicts a character named Paladin and Roblox Pressure. This entity is known for forcing players to participate in a mini game if it reaches them. The character is characterized by having multiple eyes and a mouth filled with sharp teeth. Oh, that's the flag thing that Victor had? Yeah. Interesting. Let me see here. What else we got? The way Victor was acting about Corby made me wonder if he was using some sort of code words to activate him. Yeah, he was really trying to say something to Corby, and Candace wasn't having it. She was like, no, you're not doing this. Maybe Charlie was breaking through the hypnosis and refusing to have another retooling session to gain control. I think that's I think that's what happened. If there was one, I bet you Charlie was like, nah, we're not doing that again. Like, that was weird. Because sometimes you want to do something like that with someone. Like, I guess I would never do this, but sometimes you want to do that with somebody and be like, just to kind of placate them, you're friends with them. Like, oh, okay, go ahead and pray for me, And then they do some weird thing. Their eyes roll back in their head and you're like, you know what? I don't know, man. I don't think we got to do that again. Thank you for making us laugh when we are dealing with some of the most evil people. I can't get enough of your impressions. Next episode, Joe is going to have a 20-minute apology to Ari. Yeah, that was okay. We've read these already, and then there's one more that popped up. Let's see here. 2 more? 3? No, it's just 2. Okay. Wunchi Jenkins. Okay. Sherry Mills. Did you see Iran's video after they jacked Philadelphia and got cockeyed? Kash Patel's emails. Apparently, there was more to that. It's being suppressed. The hackers made a video blurring their face and talking about the Charlie Kirk, blah, blah, confirming many things the community decentralized have uncovered. The hacker said they had more classified info they're holding as leverage, but the video appeared credible, but can't be verified its authenticity. Oh, I think it's fake. And I would bet $50 that you saw it via someone called TPV Sean. I bet you that's where it came from, because he specializes in making videos where people blur out their faces and say this and that, and it can never be verified. And that's just my thought process. That's what comes to mind first. As soon as you tell me something like that, right away, I'm just like, okay, it's probably from that guy. And it usually is. Anyway, somebody else sent one and it's not coming through for some reason, but I will read it. I do see it here. Darv or Devrin. Coach, love the show. In the beginning of the investigation, I saw a video of Terrell being lifted up the wall by 2 guys behind. He took his selfie. Charlie is injured video. The 2 guys look like Turning Point members from the hats they wore. Can't find the video. Can you help? I have not seen that video. That would be a very interesting video to see, because that means he ran up to 2 guys and said, lift me up so I can get on this, so I can get a good view. That would be insane. If that really happened, that's nuts. If that really happened, I have not seen that video. I have not seen it, but wow, that would be nuts. I have not seen anything like that. And then the last one, Mr. Riley, Shannon Sharp, Officer Tatum, 3-hour podcast equals gold. Oh my gosh, that would be crazy. Shannon Sharp would be sitting there like, Now, what you talking about? Now, when it comes to this whole thing of conservative, why you on that plantation? Officer Tatum, I ain't on no plantation. What you talking about? You on that Democrat plantation. You on that Republican plantation. They be looking at each other. They'd be looking at each other like that for like an hour straight. It'd be crazy. And they would get so drunk. Oh, they'd both, because they just drink on that podcast. You guys don't know the Shannon Sharp podcast. That's the podcast Cat William was on when he said all that crazy stuff. Oh, Shannon Sharp will get you drunk, boy. Shannon Sharp will wear the tightest pants and the tightest shirt, and he will make sure you leave your interview drunk as all get out. Oh, man, Shannon Sharp. Wild. Anyway, I got to get going. I could go forever with that Shannon Sharp bit. Shannon Sharp, I have to get out of here, guys. I have to go check on the babies, honestly. Both babies screaming. My wife thought I was just done streaming. I was like, no. I'm like, it sounded terrible. She's like, oh, thanks. She's just used to it, you know. She's a mom vet now, you know. Just goes through battle, no problem anymore. So I got to go check on her. But Candace Owens, the interview is dropping. Tomorrow we'll cover an interview with the girl who made that Turning Points expose type thing. We'll be covering an interview with her. Also be covering the Hunter Biden interview, of course, and anything else that pops up. I want to see if Officer Tatum has written a response to Tucker Carlson about what Tucker had to say about Thomas Massie. Can't wait to see that. because I'm sure it'll be filled with foolishness that we can all laugh at. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for showing up. We will be back tomorrow, Friday. Baron might be coming back Friday. If not, he'll be coming back Monday. You'll have to wait and see. But anyways, I'm out of here.